I mean, that can make this entire line getting closer into eastern Creek County, western Mulkey County, the southern part of the county, maybe even in Tulsa County within the hour. So just to kind of set your bearings here, we're on the air to tell you about severe weather threats that are unfolding. We have a severe thunderstorm line that's out to the west of us, and then we have a tornado warning and also severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway as well. So right along this general area here, the potential all along this line for some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And at times, the velocity data is not going to look very impressive. The line itself will be shrouded with some heavy rainfall, but the potential will be there for some winds that could cause some damage. We've already had reports of damage earlier today as these thunderstorms moved across portions of the I-35 corridor region. So again, just a heads up, severe thunderstorms to the west of us. We do have a tornado watch that's underway. Right now we're into the 70s in the metro. We just have a spotty shower or two. Brandon Wells is out this morning, and he is located pretty much in the Bristow vicinity right now. We're going to talk to Brandon here in just a second. Brandon, if you could tell us your location and what you're experiencing right now.
Alan, I am at 48 heading south. I just passed. I don't know what county road that was. Anyway, we're on 48 south, getting some light to occasionally moderate rainfall right now. The winds have actually picked up out of my southeast at about 30 miles an hour. So there's good inflow in the area that I'm in. Alan, we're trying to make our way south and get a better vantage point of this circulation feature right now. We'll get back to you if anything changes.
All right, Brandon, appreciate it greatly. Again, we have a tornado warning that is underway. This is going to be for the Creek County area, and this is going to be southern Creek County, also near Welty. That would be the Ofuskie County vicinity as well. And this storm is moving generally right now to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So if you're listening on 1170 KFAQ, the storm itself is southwest of the Tulsa area. This is going to be south and southwest of Sapulpa. Sapulpa is not included at this point in any kind of severe thunderstorm warning or watch, any kind of tornado or severe thunderstorm warning. We all are included in a tornado watch that is underway. We are tracking a line of thunderstorms that extends all the way from portions of Pawnee to near the Creek County area, Okfuskee, and then also just to the west of the McAllister area. So we're continuing to update you on this tornado warning that is underway that's coming out of western Creek County in the northern Okfuskee County area, and this tornado warning is underway until 10:30. This is a severe squall line that is capable of producing tornadoes, and because of the heavy rainfall threat, you may not be able to see that. So we'll kind of zoom in here and take a look at just the tornado warning that is underway. That's going to be Bristow, Welty, the southern areas that would be right along 44. And then dropping down to the south. So this is moving to the north and east right now at around 35 to near 40 miles per hour. So here's Sapulpa and Jinx and Broken Arrow, and then here's the Porter and Haskell area. That's moving north. By the way, there's very little lightning with this activity that will be moving across the area. So you might look up on the horizon and say, it just looks like a big rainstorm that's moving in. There's no lightning with it, but this line does have a punch. When it moved through I-35, there's some damage that was reported near the Midwest City area because of some cars, I think, that were flipped over and some power lines down. This thing has really flared up pretty quickly out of central Oklahoma. We can see that line developing this morning around 7:30 to about 8 o'clock. I tell you what, if somebody can quickly flip on News 9, if you guys could throw that up just quickly, I don't know if that's a possibility to do that or not. This is some of the damage that's taken place. This is in the Midwest City area. You can see those cars that are turned over. And again, this took place earlier this morning when the line of thunderstorm activity moved through there. And there was a tornado warning that was underway. All right, so we appreciate that. That was from our sister station in Oklahoma City. So we're tracking thunderstorms right now. This is going to be pushing out of the Creek County area. So here's Bristow and the southern areas of Creek County. Here's Olive and Manford. This entire area, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. But within that, this is where we have the tornado warning that is underway. The circulations are going to be small and kind of fast spin-ups. We'll continue to move to the east. At times, you will not be able to see too much just because of the rain that we're going to have through the area. So we want to encourage you, again, to just remain aware. So heads up for eastern Creek County and southern Tulsa County. We may be dealing with some of this within the next 45 minutes to an hour. From the next 45 minutes to an hour, we do not have any kind of severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings for Tulsa County at this point, or even the Okmulgee area, but we do have tornado warnings that are underway now for portions of Creek County, the Okfuskee County area. And you can see some showers and storms around Haskell and Porter. Those are moving due north. They're not too significant there, but we're going to watch this entire area. And Stephen Nairns is driving the radar for Stephen. If go to links 4, guys, in the control room. If we can do that, we'll take a look at links 4. There we go. Thank you very much. These are very strong reflectivities that are indicating some strong winds. We can have 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, some of that. Now, the circulation features will be very small, very subtle. And because we have these little notches that are underway, these could quickly spin up. So that is why, friends of the Weather Service do have a tornado warning that's underway. You can kind of see that flashing polygon. So from Bristow, right down here's Welty. And there may be other circulations trying to develop as well. So Stephen, if we'll zoom out just a little bit, I want to show the wavy nature of this line. This line is called a quasi-linear convective system, and it has all these little notches that are underway in here. And because we have the winds out of the east-southeast, they can flow into this. The movement of the line is east. The individual storms are to the north and east, so it can cause these showers and storms to kind of spin pretty quickly. So again, if you're listening to us on KFAQ, right now, Tulsa County, we have a couple of spotty showers that are moving across the northern areas around Highway 20, Sperry, Collinsville. That is not severe. We have some rain around Coweta to Broken Arrow. That's not severe. The rest of eastern Oklahoma is fine. There's some showers south of Siloam Springs. What we're concerned with is just to our west right now, and that is going to be just to the west southwest of Bristow. So from Milfay and Stroud, and then Gypsy, if you're right in through here, Stephen will put a track on that, and we'll track that to the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So again, this is kind of a wavy line of thunderstorm activity. So this is what we're anticipating. Bristow, you should be in your tornado shelters right now. 1019, the potential for a circulation. And notice this right here, around Depew, just to the south, also to the north of Gypsy. Sometimes when we see these little circulation features here, there's another one south of Welty. Those could be quickly spinning up in this environment. So there may be another warning that could be issued along this line as well. So we want you to all remain aware as this continues to develop. So Stephen will pull out and take a look. Let's set the stage now for the entire area and show you that Bartlesville, we have a few showers right now in the southern sections of Kansas. Those, again, are not severe. The severe line is just to the west. And by the way, we could have a couple of lines of thunderstorm activity today that will push through. We could have a line this morning. We may developing late this afternoon, and then one late tonight in far southeastern Oklahoma. So this is the area. You see Creek County, Okfuskee County, and then back to the Holdenville, Hughes County vicinity, and then also Colgate. Pittsburgh, this is just a heads up, Pittsburgh County, McIntosh County, Okmulgee County, Eastern Creek County, western Tulsa County. We need to remain aware that this line is moving in our direction. Just this line alone may be able to produce, in spots, some 50 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, heavy rainfall. And then within the line, very quickly, we could have some spin ups because of the way that this line is kind of processing and presenting itself across portions of the area. So the individual storms are moving northeast. The line itself is moving to the east. So right now we've got Brandon well shot up. You can see that. Let's take that full. Brandon, give us your location there and what you're experiencing. We may have lost Brandon. I think he probably dropped out. He is in an area that is notorious for cell phone coverage issues. That could be a problem there. So we'll try to check with Brandon here in just a second. I think he's, is he back on now? Let's try Brandon. Brandon, are you there? Not yet. All right, so we'll just keep on here. Okay, it's 7 minutes past the hour of 10. If you're just now joining us, we do have a tornado warning that is underway for portions of Creek County, and this is a line of severe storms. So Tulsa County, we are not included in the tornado warning, at least at this point, nor a severe thunderstorm warning, but we are included in a tornado watch, and that watch is going to be underway until 2 o'clock today. The watch meaning conditions are favorable for thunderstorms in and across the watch area. At times, Stephen, we may want to check the terminal Doppler radar on some of this. Now, the warning itself has been kind of redefined, and you can see right in through here around Welty and then pushing into the southern areas of Creek County. That is where that we could be a very fast spin up that could cause some issues. We've already had some tornado or some severe thunderstorm wind damage this morning out of Midwest City when this line developed and pushed through. So I want you to remain aware. So the individual storms are moving northeast. The line itself is kind of progressing a little bit more to the east. So we have a tornado warning technically that is underway here until 10:30. This is what it looks like. Brandon is pretty close to that cell. He's looking just to the west southwest. He's near Bristow, I believe, and can see the line of thunderstorm activity that's developing. He's going to have a couple of areas that he's watching, and I think, Brandon, we may have you back online, your location, and we can see a low-hanging cloud there.
Yeah, Alan, we're on West 311 Road, about probably 4 miles east of Stroud. Looking back off to the west right here, the area of right there, that lower it's not real strong rotation, but it's definitely rotating. It's an area that we're definitely watching. About 5 minutes ago, it was a little bit more tight than that, and it's buried in rain, so it's going to be very difficult to see. So, but we're going to stay with this as long as we can. Back to you, Alan.
Okay, tell me your location again, one more time, Brandon.
It's going to be West 311 Road, and I'm just about 4 miles west of Highway 48.
Okay. All righty. All right. We're going to keep you up there. We're going to watch that for a second here. Developing spin in the atmosphere. Tornado warnings underway. This is the Creek County area. This south of Stroud, right on the Lincoln County, Creek County area. And then it also extends back down into Okfuskee County around Welty. So right in through here. So here's Bristow. And this is the Creek County area. This is moving to the east-northeast. So potential right in through here that we're going to see a quick spin up. These have been moving to the east-northeast, the line eastward, the sails to the north and east at around 40 miles per hour. And Stephen's got this looping now, and you can kind of see, I mean, this is the area that there may be a tornado that could develop pretty quickly. So if you're watching or listening, say if you're listening on KFAQ, right now that line is still west and southwest of the Tulsa area. It's about a county away and would be moving generally in our direction. We would anticipate that at least a severe thunderstorm warning could be issued for part of Tulsa County. And Stephen, if we'll zoom out very quickly and just kind of set the stage and show everyone here that we now have severe thunderstorm warnings that extend all the way south. So here's Pittsburgh County. You've got a warning just to the west and south of you, Atoka County, also in the Hughes area, and then also west of Old Mulligan, Henrietta. So the individual storms are moving northeast, and this line is moving to the east. So we've got rain right now near Coweta and Claremore. That is not severe in the Rogers County area. Some rain and thunderstorm activity also around Coffeyville, Kansas. That is not severe. There's very little lightning with this. It's just to the west that we're watching the potential for the severe thunderstorms to continue to pop up here. So let's take a look again at that western area there, and we'll try to look at some of the velocity data. At times the velocity data is not going to present itself to a lot of strong winds, but right in through here it has the potential to kind of wrap up. These circulations will wrap up, they'll unfold, they'll wrap up. So the warning right now continues. And also notice back to Welty and also south of Aaron, and that's Milfay. That's where we can have some strong winds. So not only do we have the potential for maybe a spin up on the leading edge, but even back behind it, the potential is there for maybe some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. We're going to go through some analyst products that we kind of look at here. So again, not a lot of hail with this. There's not going to be a lot of lightning. You can see the lightning tracker. If you're watching on the air here, or if you're listening to KFAQ, there's very little lightning that's underway with this, but it's a squall line basically. So from Bristow southward to Welty, and then now just to the west of Edna. So if you are right in this area, we would encourage you to go ahead and continue to take your tornado precautions. So Stephen's going to draw a quick track here. Now, we're going to track this at 40 miles per hour, and that would put it into portions of southern sections of the Tulsa area, northern sections of the Okmulgee County vicinity, and eastern sections of Creek County if it continues to present itself with the potential for a tornado warning or two. So this would be about 40, maybe 40 to 50 minutes away, potentially, that it could move into portions of maybe Kiefer and Mounds or Glenpool, or maybe the southern Tulsa County area. That's just a heads up. There's no warning right now for Tulsa County in terms of severe weather or in terms of a tornado warning, but we know that this storm has been fairly consistent moving in this direction, and it has the potential for some damaging winds along and behind it. What we'll not know really until we just kind of continue to see it is whether or not we'll keep these little inflow notches that could be helping to produce the spin in the atmosphere. So as far as I know at this point, and guys, you can tell me, Mike Grogan is also here as well, we've had no damage report, at least at this point, out of this area. The damage that we've had so far has been out of the central Oklahoma area near Midwest City, where earlier this morning when these storms quickly developed, there was actually a couple of vehicles that were flipped over and turned over. So again, we'll watch right into here, for example. That could be a developing little area that will need to be watched. And again, that's included in a severe thunderstorm warning. So that would be around the Olive area and south of Manford. So Shamrock East, south of Manford, that would be just south-southwest of the Keystone Lake area. While that area near Olive is not technically under a tornado warning right now, those winds are increasing and the potential is there. We can kind of see a little inflow notch right in there between Manford and Drumright. So Olive, you guys are included in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. So you want to remain aware of that as that storm moves generally to the east-northeast. We'll take a trip back down to the south. Now here's Sapulpa. So Sapulpa is just out of the severe thunderstorm warning and also the tornado warning, but we have Creek County that is still technically underway here. That's a very small area, which is kind of some good news, right? It's confined to a small area right now that would be right in through here. And again, if you take a look at the velocity data, this is not a typical pattern that we're in. The velocity data is not going to look very impressive at all, and then every once in a while it'll quickly turn, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of take a look sometime at the terminal Doppler velocity if we can see that in a little bit. But again, right in through here, generally around Bristow, you kind of see these little notches. I mean, that's what we're looking for. This is going to be on the leading edge and where some of those notches are taking place here. So here's Sapulpa and Mounds and Glenpool and Tulsa Hills, and then back down to Okmulgee. So to set the stage, if you're just joining us, it's 14 minutes after the hour. We have a line of severe storms that are located roughly from Manford into Creek County to Bristow southward, and then also back down to the Okemah area to Wetumpka. That line is slowly moving to the east. Individual storms are moving to the north and east.
Has an update for you.
And we'll have a tornado warning or two embedded in this. And right now, the tornado warning is located in the southern areas of Creek County. So Brandon Wells has been tracking some of the storms. He's in the Creek County area right now. I think we may have just lost his shot, but we'll take his audio update because I think he's got something to tell us here. Brandon?
Alan, can you hear me?
I can, Brandon. Go ahead.
I'm in a real spotty area. I'm getting the winds at about 45 to 50 miles an hour out of the west. You're on 48, about 5 miles to the
5 miles? Where? I just lost you there, Brandon. I think we're losing him because of cell coverage. He's got some winds that are picking up. He's generally in that area right now, basically, where those severe storms are located around Bristow, southward. So again, he's reporting that the winds are starting to pick up in his general location to be right in through here, and it looks like we've got his shot back now. That probably means we've got his audio back as well. So we'll take a look at you, Brandon, there. Tell us again what you're experiencing and your location again.
Okay, Alan, I'm going to be about 4 miles south of Bristow on 48. I'm getting a strong northwest west wind at about 45 to gust to 55. Got waves of rain blowing across and a lot of street lighting as well. Another thing I'd like to make note real quick, Alan, not a lot of lightning in this. Back to you.
All right, Brandon, appreciate it. Brandon is right in the heart of that system. I mean, he's right in through here, and that is where we'll be watching for the potential for maybe a quick little spin up. Again, this is moving to the east-northeast. That's a tornado warning that is underway for portions of the Creek County area. So, Stephen and Michael, let's put this radar into motion, and you can see that the line itself is moving east, and the individual storms are kind of moving north and east. So this is the Okmulgee County area. And this is the Tulsa County vicinity. If you're listening on KFAQ, we have no severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning right now for part of Tulsa County or Okmulgee County. However, we do have just to the west. Now, what we're going to do is track this storm. This is the portion of the storm that not only contains a severe thunderstorm warning, but also a tornado warning as well. Now, we're going to extend this out just a little bit and show you where this could go between now and about the next 50 minutes or so to an hour, where it could go. This line has not shown any signs of falling apart, even though we still have some different areas of winds that are changing direction here. But Sapulpa, right now, it's 10:17. Sapulpa, you are not included at this point in a warning, but you could be soon. So this storm is just west of you. It's near Bristow. It's moving northeast. So Sapulpa, the storm could be impacting your area around 10:40. Kiefer at 10:45. Tulsa Hills, this is a heads up. This would be around 10:50, maybe 11 o'clock. Even if it doesn't continue with a tornado warning, or it doesn't continue with a severe thunderstorm warning, it's going to have a lot of rain and quite a bit of wind as well. So again, around the 10:50, 11 to 11:20, 11:30 time period would not be a good time to be trying to venture out to find that lunch spot because of this line of thunderstorm activity that's pushing through. So let's zoom in very quickly here and track the tornado warning that we still have right now. And Stephen, if you can just verbally tell the expiration time on that, is that still 10:30? Is that correct?
Yes, still 10:30.
All right, 10:30. That's a small little area right in through here. Notice those really bright colors. That's the potential for some strong wind. Now, if you're a regular watcher and you pay attention a lot to some of the weather data that you look at on the radar, this does not look like it's significant in terms of the wind. But I'm going to tell you, this is not going to be the same that we typically see the way that this is going to work today. This could quickly wrap right back up, and it still does have a little bit of rotation right in through here. So this is moving to the east-northeast. Mounds at 10:48. And the potential is there for some 50, 60 mile per hour winds all along it. So let's set the stage. Let's pull it right back up. I'm going to show you the entire region here. And this goes all the way, the line of thunderstorm activity from Pawnee and Osage County and then back to just west of Henrietta. And this is the tornado warning that we have currently that is underway. So right now we're about 20 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. Again, not a lot of lightning is going to be associated with this. We're going to have some pockets of heavy rain. We do have a tornado watch that is underway for the entire area. And I also want to tell you this is in such an environment that we can have some fluctuation in intensity. And here's the reason why. We were worked over earlier this morning quite a bit with some rain and thunderstorm activity around the Tulsa area to the north. And then also a little bit to the south, but not quite as much to the south. So it's not impossible that we could have some fluctuation, some different intensity values that'll kind of come up and go down with this. So there's no guarantee that this is going to continue to be severe as it moves to the east-northeast. But right now, this is our main concern that we have from Bristow back down to near Welty, right in through here. And as this moved across the area earlier today, near I-35, it did produce some damage. It produced some damage in Midwest City, flipped over quite a few cars that were under an awning there and some power lines that were down. So damage has been reported with this line of thunderstorm activity earlier this morning when it started to develop. Okay, 21 past the hour. If you just joined us, if you're just tuning in the radio and KFAQ on the television, we are tracking thunderstorms that are underway We've got the entire weather team here, and Travis, this is not a typical type environment that we typically see, you know, with these big lines of thunderstorms with supercells and rear flank dranders. These is right along the leading edge. We've already had a couple of spin-ups this morning.
Yeah, and that's going to be very, very confusing for a lot of folks because it doesn't look that bad,
right,
and unfortunately it is. So, Al, I'll let you get positioned over in our weather pod, and as we continue to coverage, and also Stacia has a little bit of information for you on that as well. We have, of course, Stephen, Michael here. Our entire storm team continues our coverage, and thanks to Alan. And Alan's going nowhere fast. He's not going to be leaving. He's going to continue as we continue our coverage across eastern Oklahoma. Again, line of strong to severe thunderstorms continues to track across areas, getting ready to move into the Tulsa area. As you look at radar right now, we're looking at rain and thunderstorms that are across the region. The tornado warning is just to the southwest of Tulsa. Circulation feature is showing up just not too far from around south and east of Bristow. There's a little bit of a rotating area, so we do want you to be advised for that. Also, are we on links 3 right now?
Yeah,
we're on 4. Are you ready to go to links 3?
Not yet. We got to get a power cord.
Okay.
We'll be ready.
All right. So if we can stay on links 4 there for just a little bit longer. Sorry about that. I got a little advanced. Here's a look at what's going on. So the tornado warning is just in this polygon. This is going to continue to track to the northeast, so it's moving very quickly at this time. And because of that, because of the shower and thunderstorm activity that's going on right now, we're going to have to continue to monitor this and continue coverage as we look at the rest of the next hour to 2 hours as that continues to slide across the area. So as you see, here's Linpool, Kiefer, Mounds, and the location of this. Station's getting ready to draw on a storm track with this. So this will continue to move at a pretty fast rate right now. So that's going to be coming in on the southwest sides of Tulsa shortly. Now, this is not the end of the world type thing, but it is an issue Alan just mentioned, is that the rotating area they are very small and they're very hard to see. And so Alan's going to be looking for any of those along the line. I'll be talking to him as we go through the next couple of hours. And so if you're a little concerned about the weather, we're going to have you covered. The areas right now that have the strongest impact are located from near Bristow and then near Slick in central and eastern portions of Creek County. That will move on up into southwest Tulsa near Kiefer and Mounds. So there is a chance that we will have some strong damaging wind potential with this. Let's take a look at shear if we could for a moment. And along this leading edge, once again, there's only a couple of pockets. One of those is in southeastern portions right now of Creek County, and that is a location where we have some of the strongest winds. So when we look at shear rate, it just gives us a pretty good idea that there's a lot of motion, a lot of energy going on, some spinning going on in the atmosphere. This is one of the locations. It's just to the southwest of Slick by about 3 miles or so. A little bit further to the north on into Creek County, further to the north along Lake Keystone area. And if we can just slide back on up a little bit, continue on up and keep going. And just on up toward our warning, which is near Manfred right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. So these two cells right up in here extending on the north end of Keystone, and then also down around the Manfred area. These storms as well have severe potential because they are severe at this time. Winds up to 60 miles per hour. Also, some embedded areas of small hail will be possible in some of these locations. But what we do want you to be aware of is that with winds quickly approaching 60 miles an hour, you don't have much time for any notice. But we do have just 2 active warnings at this time right in the areas in the immediate Tulsa area. That includes the one that's around the Manfred area, and that will also be in southern Osage County now. And then also our tornado warning, which has been a warned storm for a while, as Alan has been covering that. So this is a line, even though it doesn't look like much, it does have right along that leading edge a lot of issues associated with it, and we're going to continue to monitor that. Also, rain and showers have been across eastern Tulsa County. Roads are all wet across the area. Driving in today, there was a lot of people that were just driving way too fast for the conditions. And just remember to slow down a little bit. We had a lot of wrecks this morning. I was watching the morning show. It was a mess. So let's go to links 3 right now if we could. And then, Alan, you'll have links 4 available. So we're looking at, again, this line. We do have the tornado watch in effect for this whole area, and you can see that this whole green area, because of this whole line coming across the region. Alan mentioned it early this morning that we were watching that line starting to get a little bit more hyped up. One of our computer models picked up on it as well, that hey, maybe this is going to be part of the bigger part of the storm system, and it's unfortunately that's what's happening right now. So line of storms running again, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll have Alan look at the severe thunderstorm warning in just a minute. Let's go back down to the tornado warned area, because that is areas. Again, the rotation is pretty weak on that, but it doesn't take much in these situations to have something going on. So we do want you to be aware that if you are in southwest, really southeastern portions now of Creek County, so we're still just to the east of Bristow. Circulation feature and velocities at this moment showing up not a lot of difference, and you can tell that that's kind of a confusing little look right in there. But this is where the turbulent air is mostly located. Baron Button, if you could also look at that, and it's a little hard. Tell you what, yeah, if we can take off the tornado watch, I guess we'll just do that so we can see the shear a little bit more in some of that. That'll help get rid of some of that background green for us. But this is very weak, but it is near Slick now, just east of Bristow. And also the storm analysis, if we could, and look at that for a moment and give you an idea of what's going on there. Again, it doesn't show a whole lot of wind with this, and so it's not really picking up on it, but this is a very quick moving system, and overall the whole line is going to be moving toward the Tulsa area. So what we're looking at right now is a storm near and east of Bristow in eastern Creek County that is moving into extreme eastern Creek County to near Mounds. So this is what we'll keep an eye on. This tornado warning might be allowed to be canceled, and let's go, Alan, I'm going to come to you in just a minute for that north storm. If you would give us an analysis of that and a storm track. But here's the latest storm track of what's going on with this storm that has been a tornado warned storm in south central and southeast Creek County. This will continue to move across extreme eastern Creek County near Sapulpa on the north side, and then about Beggs and Okmulgee County on the south side. You can see some of the locations. Glenpool coming up at 10:59. We're at 10:27 right now. So it's moving at a pretty good pace, so it should be in a little bit faster than that, I would say. But some of these locations will be not too far. Calleyville, 10:34, which is basically coming up shortly here. So along this whole leading edge, just some quick gusty winds, 50 miles an hour. Some gusts could be near 60. Circulation feature does not look as impending of a problem as what it was just a little bit ago, but this is the same system coming across the area. So this will be again moving into Tulsa County in the next 25 minutes for sure. And if you're in Sapulpa in the metro area, it's basically coming in on the metro area as we speak. Let's go up to Alan with a storm that's just to the north around the Lake Keystone area. Alan, quick update.
Okay, we'll do it. Travis, this is going to be Osage County, part of Creek, Pawnee County, and technically this is western Tulsa County. So your NOAA weather radio may be going off right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for those counties that I just mentioned, and technically this will be underway until 11:15 this morning. The line is moving east, but the individual storm now is moving north, I would say around 40 to maybe 50 miles per hour. And we're seeing signs on some of the velocity data that the winds are picking up back behind Manfred. So the winds could be picking up a little bit back behind the Manfred area. And so it wouldn't shock me to see some 50 or 60 mile per hour winds out of that. That would continue to move. So if you folks are on, for example, or around the Keystone Lake vicinity, you'll need to remain aware that that cell is moving generally to the north now. And that would move over Timber Lane and then also Frontier Shores. Cell itself is not going to just powerhouse its way into Tulsa County, but at the very bottom of that cell, you can see where these two cells are trying to connect, and that's going to be just to the west of Sapulpa. And then we have the other tornado warning that is still underway for portions of Creek County. So that is moving, again, generally to the east-northeast. You can see Val is located also there near Bristow, so he's going to watch that for us as well. So we've got a lot of folks out this morning. So again, Travis, this is where we have severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway. We've had some winds gusting already around the Pawnee vicinity, around Manfred. Let me check that. I just saw it a couple of minutes ago on the Mesonet. We got a 54 mile per hour wind gust in Pawnee, 40 in Red Rock, 42 in Oilton. So while we are talking about the potential for this quick little tornado spin up all along that line and even behind it, there could be some 40 and 50 mile per hour winds. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Al. And so once again, overview of the whole thing. And Alan's kind of mentioning that the rain, the thunderstorm activity continues to show up along a big, broad area. So this continues from Osage County. And some of the areas that we're watching in Osage County, this is where there could be additional quick development. So don't be surprised. And that includes northern Tulsa County and Washington County. Then we also have with this line, you can see all these little curves and dents along that. A lot of times that'll be pushing out and energy will be pushing around, and so we will have some changes. The tornado warning has been canceled at this point, but will be reissued. And okay, Brandon's near Slick right now. Let's go ahead and go to Brandon at this time, who's coming.
Val actually has right now something.
And Val has something? Okay, let's go to Val first. Hey, Val, we're going to move right over to where you are. Let's go down south just a little bit. There he is, right near Hayburn. Okay, go, Val.
All right, so we are on the Turner Turnpike right now, headed northeast, and we're about probably 3 miles northeast of Bristow right now. And we've been following the circulation all the way since Oklahoma City. We actually got hit by a small tornado that spun up on the north side of Oklahoma City, but we're following this, and we're just trying to get back under the base of it right now, but it's just ahead of us here. So just want to let you know we're here and we're on it. Anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Val. Appreciate it, Val and Amy there, Caster. And so we're continuing the coverage, and we do have our storm trackers continuing, and you can see it's just a lot of water he's running into. And then let's look at where we are with relationship to that storm. So this is the Manford storm. Let's go to links 3. I'm going to stay on links 3 for the most part, and Al will have links 4. This is a look at the line. We do have new severe thunderstorm warnings now, so they have replaced the tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to stay on the air for a while because this can change quickly. And so this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that'll go until 11:15. So now that's coupling up with the storm Al is watching that's up around Lake Keystone. And our severe thunderstorm warning is continuing now for Okmulgee County, southwestern Tulsa County, eastern Creek County, and also northeastern Okfuskee County. So the line of storms now running from near Manford, moving into western Tulsa County, just to the west of Sapulpa. We'll talk to Brandon in just a moment, but he is just along that leading edge, and Val's right next to it as well. And you can see as this motion continues, the lines in advance of to the east of Tulsa moving to the north, while the thunderstorms themselves, the complex coming in on the southwest side of Tulsa, has a little bit more of a northeastward movement. So that leading edge is going to continue to move rapidly. So we'll be hit with some very heavy rainfall, and then it has potential to weaken. Quickly move through, and then it'll be weakening and it'll be over with for you in the one location. That doesn't mean the storm line will be weakening at all. So as we look closer at the storms and what's happening along the line right now, a couple places, Manford where Alan's watching, and then also down Val's right in the midst of some of this. So when we look at the magenta colors, we're looking for basically hail locations. Once we get to more of a yellow color, that's when we get some really strong winds. But these are going to be very small little spin-ups along this leading edge. That's why we're going to stay on the air and watch this, because things are going to change very quickly. Val mentioned we've had changes that can happen very quickly with this, and it's been around for a while, since Oklahoma City, so it's been moving on up. Right now, the center of rotation is right from Slick to Tabor, which is just moving in northwestern Okmulgee County, just northwest of Dentonville. So if you're in this area, there could be some damaging wind potential right in this location. And Michael, I don't know if we have anybody that's going to intercept. Do you have somebody? Is Brandon?
Which one?
So from the Slick storm that'll be moving up to Mounds.
Yeah, Val and Darren.
Val and Darren will be on that. Okay. Also, we do have at this time on our talk radio 1170 KFAQ, we have listeners now joining us. And remember, if you have to take off and go, you can hear our continuous coverage on KFAQ. Talk Radio 1170 on the AM dial, so that's our new sister station, and so that just allows you to listen as you have to go. If you have to go someplace, can't sit and watch TV, can't sit and monitor, you can just turn on the radio now, and it's right at your fingertips, literally. So what we want you to do is just be aware now that we're moving into northwestern Okmulgee County, which is just to the southwest of Mounds. This has a higher probability of having at least some rotation, strong damaging wind right in this area. At this current rate, it's going to be taking it to the Mounds area at 10:56. We're sitting at about 10:35. So we're about 10 minutes, 12 minutes away from you. So just be a little ahead of these numbers. Glenpool around 11:08, Tulsa Hills 11:19 shopping center, and then that extends, maybe if it continues, we could be near the Woodland Hills Mall by 11:30, which would be about an hour from now, which seems a little slow, but what I'm looking for is right in the center of circulation. And if we can come down City Street level, and let's go full screen if we could, guys, for a moment. What we're looking at right now, the center of circulation, so we're at 231st Street South, and then we're on county line, right on the county line between Creek and Okmulgee County, and far northwest Okmulgee County. So this is where the center circulation is located. So this is where there's going to be turbulent winds. We're going to have 50-mile-an-hour winds, easy, more than likely, and then we could have as well some spinning going on with this. So even though it's not officially a tornado warning, we have a couplet located in this area, so we do want you to be advised. So as you look at this open area, this again is kind of some rural area, but this is moving to the east, to the northeast, and this will be taken into mounds. Let's widen out just a little bit as well and come back to the northeast. And so this will take it, this line of thunderstorms will take it right on across. Now I'm going to be coming to you for an update on the warnings to the north, if you would. This is taking it right into mounds, which is in getting close to southern Tulsa County, just south of Kiefer and south of Glenpool. So this is the main area we're watching at this time. This whole line has wind potential 50 to 60 miles per hour. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning with this particular area. Again, it's a huge thunderstorm warning because it takes in all of basically Okmulgee County, as we said, Okfuskee County, now into western Muskogee County, and then Tulsa County, southwestern Tulsa County. This whole line. We'll do one storm track. We're going to go to Al and get more on what's going on the north side. So as this moves through, the storm track now takes it through central Tulsa. That'll be coming up. Looks like that'll be about really in about 15 to 20 minutes. Should be just getting on the southwest side of downtown Tulsa Hills in about 20 minutes or so, and then possibly down around Leonard's, Bixby area. That will be happening in about 15 to 22, 25 minutes. All right, so that's the leading edge of it. To the north, these storms are continuing to develop. Alan's keeping an eye on all that. Al, what do you have?
Yeah, I still have, Travis, severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway around the Keystone Lake area, and that's around Prue as well. That's moving. The individual cells are moving almost now due north. The line itself is moving to the east. What I've noticed, and I just want to point this out, you've got this really curvy line. You can kind of see it's very wavy from near Manford and then back just to the west of Tulsa. And then you get this little wave right in through here in the Okmulgee County area that drops down to the south. All along that, because of that wavy line potential, we can quickly have those areas that will cause the wind speeds to increase quite a bit at very fast modes here. So while we still have the severe thunderstorm warning that is underway, if you do receive our text alerts or if you receive any kind of text data, you'll notice that there's also, on occasion, there will be a mention about that could potentially produce a tornado as well. So that's why we're kind of on right now to watch this entire area. We have seen in some of the data anywhere between some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, and while the leading edge would support some of those quick little spin ups, where we're starting to see the stronger winds right now is back behind the reflectivity. So strong winds around 40 to 50 miles per hour that are fairly solid, at least aloft. Whether or not they're going to reach all the way down to the surface, that would be around Manford and then just south of the lake. And then pretty close to where Val is located right now, which is just a little bit south-southwest of Sapulpa there. The velocity data is around 40, maybe 50, 55 mile per hour winds, and some of that, but it could mix down to the surface as well. We'll also take a look at a product here that we use sometimes to see maybe very small areas of enhanced wind potential. So again, we are still seeing that in some spots here in that northern area. That would be just right across the Keystone Lake area, just north of Manford, just south of the new Prue area. When we see these small little areas here, that kind of causes us to really pay attention closely in this area because the wind velocity data could pick up quickly. And we also see the same thing in the far northern edge. This is going to be around the Hominy area, which is just a little bit to the west of the Skytook Lake vicinity. So to kind of set the stage right now, all of eastern Oklahoma is included in a tornado watch until 2 o'clock. The severe thunderstorms that we have currently are just a hair west-southwest of Tulsa. So if you're listening on KFAQ and you're watching this morning, that severe thunderstorm warning for part of southern Tulsa County goes until 11:15, and it may be extended. We'll have to wait and see what our friends at the Weather Service will do. I mention this because, Travis, we'll get into about 11:15, 11:30. A lot of folks are trying to find that lunch spot, and that would not be a good time to, to do that. So let's just wait on these storms to pass. These are not the mother of all storms, obviously, but they have the potential to produce some wind damage.
All right. Hey, thanks, Al. I appreciate it. So with this information that we have right now, again, and Alan pretty much gave the story that this line, quick, heavy, moving through, and then it's gone. We do have Val and Darren pretty close to one another at this particular moment. We also have Brandon located in this area. We'll get these guys spread out along that line a little bit more so we don't have everybody clustered in one spot. But the line of shower and thunderstorm activity is now running from Lake Keystone back down to just west of Sapulpa. And again, if you're listening to us on Talk Radio 1170 FM, AM, we're talking about conditions that are the thunderstorms literally just southwest of Tulsa, just west of Sapulpa itself, and then just southwest of Mounds, which is southwest Tulsa, basically. We're looking at this whole area of thunderstorms moving to the northeast at a very rapid rate. We're all under warnings at this time. That continues to the south. We'll look along that line a little bit closer in just a moment. I want to zoom in, though, first. If we can, I want to talk to the guys, Stacia, and so let's go in and take a look at the closer views of what's going on. Val is just north of Darren at this moment. So as you look at where Val is compared to Darren, Val is on the leading edge, and we'll go to him after Darren. I want to hit Darren, he's right near the circulation, and I want to get a picture from Val, which is getting out of the heavy rain. Darren, if you can you give us an update on what's going on right where you're located and just to your southeast? Darren? Oh, Darren's not there right there? Okay, okay. Is Brandon right in that location too? Okay. Okay. Hey, Brandon, I think we're looking at your video right now. Can you give me a quick update from your location and tell me what your location is?
Yeah, Travis, I'm just going to be about 2 miles to the south of Slick here on 16, headed east on 16. Right now, the rain has let up as I'm just a little bit behind the wave. I'm just getting some light rainfall right now, Travis. But along 16, there was some notable medium-sized limbs in the roadway, so that indicates strong winds had come through this area. But we're trying to get back to the east, Travis.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, and I know the cell coverage there is pretty rough. Okay, let's go back to radar if we could. Here's the circulation feature. Val is just running through. Here's where Val is located. He's just running through that as well, and we'll be talking to Darren a little bit. But Val, if you can, give us an update. What is it? Looks like you're getting into a little bit of a break, just catching up with the main line.
That's right, exactly. We're just west of Sapulpa here on the turnpike, and we've that camera shot you're looking at is looking due south. And what it looks like to me right now is we just came out of a heavy rain. We're right on the leading edge of the gust front here, and it almost looks like the circulation is due south of us. It doesn't look as strong as it has looked earlier on, but nonetheless, it looks like the gust front is wrapped in a little way south of us, and that's where the camera shot is looking right there, if we can ever get out of the trees. But it tries to wrap in right down there to our south, looks like a couple miles. So that's kind of what we're thinking right now. Back to you.
All right, Val. Appreciate it very much. Again, yeah, welcome to eastern Oklahoma and a tree. Boy, he gets to chase mostly out in western parts of the state and does not have to deal with trees all the time. But this is, again, what it looks like coming into Tulsa. We have, we'll talk to Val in just a minute. Let's go back and here we're kind of adjusting the camera on air. Are you moving it across there? So we're getting it. There we go. All right, so that's from Sapulpa too, just looking at the storm coming in. And so it doesn't look ominous, but there is some circulation features. Let's go back to radar if we can and get down to right around the Beggs area. This is the circulation feature that we continue to monitor, which is just to the south of the guys a little bit. So as we watch this along this line, we also have one that's a little bit further south. I'm going to take you along this line real quick, but we do have right now coming into Mounds. If you're on the Mound side, shear indications are not that high. And as we look at some of the Barron Button, this is links 3. Oh, we need to go links 3. Okay. Sorry. Always stay with, if you can, keep me at links 3. That'd be great. And then Alan can go ahead and get some analysis done. Here's the circulation feature going on with a Mound storm at this moment. So there's just to the northwest of Beggs. So this is a couplet still here. So we'll have our guys spreading out so that they can intercept this. And we're not too far from that because right now, I think, was it Slick or Dentonville? I was trying to think of where Brandon just called in from. Was it to...
Eggs, I believe.
But he's
Slick.
heading over towards Baggs right
Okay, there. All right. So he's just south of this. So he's watching that. So this is a location where probably the strongest rotation at this time would be close to the shear marker here on East Road 820, and where that intersects with North Road 150. And so you can see what's going on right in this area. This is Tulsa County line. Here's Mounds. So just south of Mounds. They got some good friends sitting right in this location. So they're kind of right in the midst of that. Now. So the circulation feature is tightened up right in the location just southwest of Mounds. So we will have some strong wind potential right here. And if it tightens up a little bit more, you could have a small spin up. And we'll bounce back out a little bit larger if we could. So we can give a bigger perspective. This is on the southwest sides of Tulsa. And here's Glenpool. And then you see Mounds. And then you see back down to where this circulation feature is. And then with this being a severe thunderstorm warning, that doesn't mean, Alan mentioned this just a minute ago, that we couldn't have a possible spin up of a tornado. And that's why we're staying on the air until we get it through Tulsa, and as long as we have to. It doesn't mean it just has to stay till Tulsa, but until we're pretty sure that this is going to weaken or make a little difference. Now, Val said it's weakened, which it has on the north side, but circulation feature to the south is a little bit tighter, and therefore around the Mounds area we're a lot more concerned. So hopefully we'll be able to intercept that fairly well. Back to the south a little bit, if you could, along this entire line. Rain and thunderstorms go now from Beggs, and that extends back to the south. There's an area right down in here that's just west of Okmulgee. Let's get closer in on that if we could, Stage, and near the Shelter area. And we're going to take a look at some velocities right in this area. This has as well a bulging area, and when this happens, a lot of times you can have a little bit more wind flow and outflow, so there is some stronger winds that are coming out along that leading edge. So it's going to look fairly turbulent or scary looking clouds, SLCs as we have always called them. We haven't said that too much here lately, but there is not a whole lot of indication of anything really strong and damaging wind. But please know that along this leading edge we could have winds 60 miles an hour or more based on, of course, it's a warmed area, and then little spin ups similar to what's going on, like say around Shelter. We see these different colors. This is indicative as well as turbulent area, and that is where we can have some issues showing up as well. Let's go back along the leading edge and move back to the north now, and we do have if we can continue all the way up to around Val. So we're looking at Hectorville. We're moving it into southwest Tulsa County right now. You can see down around the Mounds area. Then you can see back up through Sapulpa. That's where Val is located. Val, if you do have an update, would you get it to us?
I'm going to let you know what we're looking at. If you can see our shot there, I'm going to stop up here. I'm kind of on a hill, but like you said, we're in eastern Oklahoma now. Trees everywhere, but it looks like to us it's starting to strengthen again. And right there, if you can see our shot, that's the lowering looking down to our south-southwest, and that's what you were talking about on radar in the Mounds area. So that's where it's at. It looks like to us it's trying to strengthen right now a little bit.
All right. Appreciate it. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. So again, you see Val's shot right there as it's situated. And our camera, that's right off the turnpike. And just in southwest Tulsa where he's taking a view of that. So he's getting ready to take off and move a little bit. So we do have a lot of low clouds and kind of scary looking clouds, but there are a couple of those scary looking clouds that actually have some meaning to it. Back to radar for a minute, and shower and thunderstorm activity continues. This is from our Bennett Steel camera there that was located close to where he was located, and there's Val again just on the northeast sides of Sapulpa. So that's coming in. You can see what's happening right along the leading edge. So this is the leading edge coming in from around Sapulpa and getting ready to move in on the east sides of Tulsa, on the west sides of Tulsa, moving into a portion of central and eastern Tulsa probably over the course of the next 30 to 45 minutes. Right now, though, heaviest rainfall falling in and west sides of Sapulpa. Let's bounce back out and get back out there if we could, Station. And wanted to look further to the south again, right along the leading edge. Al, I'm going to come to you in just a second here. So the Sapulpa area, heavy rainfall falling along this leading edge. So it's a really fast blast of wind and then heavy rain. And down here toward the Mounds area, one more look at circulation before we go to L and see what's going on with that. So it's still a little messed up, but it has a little bit of a couplet type of look to it. So this is right south of Mounds. So if you're around the Mounds area, this is where you're going to see some of this stuff going on. Strong winds, 50, 60 miles an hour. Isolated spots could get a little higher. And this is enough to be concerned because there is some circulation right around the Mounds area, south side of Mounds. So we want you to be very, very careful in these areas. Be aware and always remember, stay away from outside windows and walls and windows especially. All right, that's a look as we look at it. Widen up if you would. What did you say, Station?
to Okmulgee
Okay,
and take a look at the line.
Okay, let's go back down a little bit further then along that line. And as we continue, here's Preston in central Okmulgee County, and continue a little bit further. There we are. So right on Okmulgee, this is leading edge. Again, this is bulging out near just north of Shelter, and it's moving in on Okmulgee right now. So we'll have some, again, strong winds associated with this coming in right around Okmulgee. There's a small little couplet area, so to speak, and this is like a little indentation, and that's where we have this bowing out. And so that's making a bit of a weak circulation feature coming in Okmulgee. So right now you'll have some scary looking clouds, and you should have some strong winds and some very heavy rain on the south and west sides of Okmulgee. A little bit further south, that line of showers and storms continues into McIntosh County, and so we're going to have to watch this whole line along there, and plus Alan will be watching that because he's watching everything else. So let's go over to Alan with a quick update. Al?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to set the stage for everybody that's maybe just joining us right now. We're still on KFAQ as well, so we have some severe storms in and around the Tulsa area. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that technically is underway. You take a look here. This is going to be for the Tulsa County vicinity. It also continues to the south and includes portions of Okmulgee County, also part of Creek County. And we actually have two separate severe thunderstorm warnings. And we'll go over this in just a minute. But I also want to show our friends and neighbors to the south around Lake Eufaula, number 9 Landing, Crowder Point, McAllister, Pittsburgh County. Some of those areas that you do have thunderstorm activity moving into your vicinity. Technically right now it is below severe weather criteria, but all along this line the potential is there for some storms to become strong to severe. I'll also show you, again, this is our big concern this morning, is that this line is very wavy. And while that might not seem like a significant issue, because of the parameters that we find ourselves with in the atmosphere today and the way that the low-level winds are working and the mid-level winds as well, we get these little waves and these little breaks. They can cause, first of all, quick wind production, but it can also cause a very quick spin up and some small wind damage potential as well. So all along this line, we're going to see the potential for the strong, possibly even damaging winds, not just ahead of it, but also back behind the line. So Travis had mentioned this a couple of minutes ago. Down around the Okmulgee area, there's a little notch that's taking place right in through here. Now, again, we'll show you the velocity data, and it's not going to look very impressive, but that's an area that we'll need to be watching right now. So that is moving very close to Okmulgee proper, and then it goes right up to 75. So if you're in the Glenpool and Mounds area, that is where we also have storms that will be moving in. The individual cell looks like it's still moving kind of north, but the line itself is moving east. And then you can see the leading edge now is just across the Sapulpa vicinity. You can see Val is located there. He's right ahead of it, so he'll watch that carefully. And then it extends a little more up to the north with a second area of severe thunderstorm warning criteria that's underway. That does now include the Hominy vicinity, the Skytook Lake area, and then even back in through the Manford vicinity. So all in through here, the potential is there that we could see some of those damaging wind gusts and maybe even a quick little spin up or two. In terms of wind production so far, we've seen some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in the last hour with this. That was actually reported from a mesonet standpoint. From a velocity data standpoint on the radar that we're seeing right now, the winds aloft over Kellyville and just west of Mounds are fairly stout, around 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. But again, that we anticipate that would just be kind of spotty as it tries to work its way down to the ground. So set the stage again. Severe storms are getting closer into Tulsa proper right now. The storms that are located, you could probably throw a rock from Glenpool and hit it. You can see those are severe storms back down to Mounds, and then also Sapulpa just to the west of Jinx, also extending north out of the downtown area, and then extends southward, Travis, all the way back down through Okmulgee.
All right. Hey, thanks for that. I appreciate it. And also along this line, obviously our storm trackers are all along the line. We have a couple of them showing up that are right in the areas of just to the west of Tulsa at this time. So coming into the Tulsa area and getting specific on what's happening right now in the Sapulpa area, heavy rains. Let's go back to Val for a quick update. Val, if you would, give me an update on what you have and what you're seeing.
All right, so right now we're on the Creek Turnpike and just about to hit 75 here, and we can see a lowering back to the south-southwest. I think it's going to be the area maybe just north of west of Mounds is what we're kind of thinking. It's a little way south of us, but that's what we're watching right now. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Val. Greatly appreciate it. And you can see what Val's looking at there. Let's go on over to Darren with an update as well. Darren's in Creek County. Darren, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis, coming in on I-44 right here next to the Sapulpa exit. Very, very heavy rain. Traffic is pretty much at a standstill, moving along at 25 to 30 miles an hour up through here. But that area of circulation before I was overtaken by rain is directly to our south, pretty much, just to the east or right on 75 at this time. But that's what we're watching, Travis. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Darren. Greatly appreciate it. So let's go back to radar and links 3. And shower and thunderstorm activity continues. Sapulpa now getting hammered with heavy rain. So this is kind of where Darren is going to be coming up through in just a few moments as we continue to watch that area of heavy rain. Also, right along that leading edge, you can see the magenta colors that we have here. This is on the east side of Sapulpa now. So this is going to be moving into West Tulsa County line, probably about 2 miles away from getting heavy rain, and then also into Sand Springs, heavy rain. This is a location we'll go along this leading edge. And Stacia, I'd like to start just up into probably just north of Sand Springs a little bit, and then I want to work down along this line. We're going to look at this line as it continues to track to the south or to the north and the east, and you can see from Sperry and then from downtown Tulsa. This is just to the west of the area. It's getting southeast Osage Hills here. And you look down through Sand Springs at this time, moderate to heavy rains falling, and then continuing south along the leading edge from Sand Springs down through the Prattville area, Berry Hill, now along the leading edge of this. This will be winds of about 40 miles an hour. Now you might say, why are you guys on TV? Because any spin up could happen almost any time with this line of storms. Then down to the Oakhurst area, you see the heavy rains. Here's where Darren's locked in. Val's just ahead of it, so he's getting a visual of it while Darren's trying to get ahead of it. Go to links 4 for a minute at this time. Links 4, Winona, right there. Okay. So we have strong winds right now. So right along the leading edge, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. And so, Alan, I'll let you look at that in a little bit more in detail. But we do want to point out this has potential for some damaging winds now from near Pawhuska, central Osage County. We want you to be aware of what's going on here. So that is moving to the northeast. He'll have a track on that in just a moment. So if you're, please just be very much aware. Central Osage County, strong damaging wind potential starting to show up with that cell to the north. Okay, back to links 3 for a moment. Down along the leading edge again, this is the circulation feature coming in on Pawhuska at this moment with strong wind potential and also a circulation feature right in town. So we want you to be very much aware of it in town. This is rapidly expanded and moving to the northeast. And Alan, I'm going to just, if you can set up a storm track on that, and we'll just go to you briefly while we're on this storm so that we can get a track for where this is going to go. But if you're in Pawhuska right now, just be advised there's some sheer indication coming in from out of this at this moment. But we'll just get to a track and then we'll go back to the folks coming in on Tulsa.
Yeah, let me just tell you also, right now, 54-mile-per-hour wind just detected on the Oklahoma Mesonet site. This is going to be around Winona, so that's just south of Pawhuska. So let me show you this. This is moving north-northeast. Take a look here. And this is going to take it right across Pawhuska pretty quickly. And other than some rural areas just to the north and northeast of Pawhuska, that is going to be the city of concern right now from Pawhuska to Winona. This is moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour, and the potential is there for some 60, maybe 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And again, we've already had winds detected from the Mesonet, which is a measuring site there. We are very fortunate to have the Oklahoma Mesonet. There's a site near Winona that has recorded a 54-mile-per-hour wind gust not too long ago. So we know that the winds are going to be increasing. And again, that's moving to the northeast. This is just kind of all rural area right in through here, but that's moving north and east. But Travis, I want to point out again, you see these wavy areas here? That's what we're going to have to watch because very quickly you can see some of those circulation features spinning up.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Al. So that's the storm track on that. We also have a storm track coming in Tulsa. We have multiple locations now along the line from Pawhuska to east of Sapulpa, southwest Tulsa with heavy rains down to Okmulgee. Whole line moving to the east. Potential along this line for strong damaging winds. Let's come on in closer, get rid of that for a minute if you could, and get us down to where Val is located. Val has some information for us and just on the southwest sides of Tulsa coming in. He is in the middle of it near Glenpool. Val, go.
Yeah, what I was going to say is we had the lowering in sight, and it just got wrapped in rain. It was a pretty pronounced lowering to our southwest there. And matter of fact, it's still there. I could see it faintly, but it quickly got wrapped in rain. And so that's what we're watching. It continues to look like it's moving to me to the northeast. What do you think?
You got it. And it certainly is coming in on the Tulsa side, coming in on southwest Tulsa side at this moment. Moving it really, I thought it would be moving a little bit faster, but it's right there. So we do want folks to be aware of what's going on. And here's a closer inspection on radar, and you can see what Val is talking about. This is coming in. He is in the middle of it, and this is a circulation feature. So we're looking at from right at 121st Street and 117, and that's the same thing. Highway 117, 121st Street, and this Highway 75. So this is a circulation feature right now that's coming in right here. Let's zoom out, widen out a little bit if you would, Station, and move south a little bit there. Okay, so this is the location on southwest sides of town. So this moving in on Jenks, Glenpool area. Let's check out Storm Analyst for a moment, and also Shear, and you can see a little bit of a look of some circulation showing up near Bixby. This is the whole band right in here. Brandon is on this out. Where's Brandon located?
He's 5 miles east of 75 near Beggs.
He's near Beggs. Okay, we'll go along this line just a little bit further to the south as Darren and Val have this covered right in here. And then you look along the leading edge, Hectorville. This is on Tulsa County line with Okmulgee. Then you get down in Okmulgee County along Highway 75. And this is down Okmulgee, Preston area. Let's go and see basically what Brandon has for us. Brandon, we don't have you on GPS right now, but what do you have for us?
Travis, right now I'm going to be about 5 miles to the east of 75 and Highway 16. I'm looking back off towards the north and west. I do have an area of a lowered area right here that I've been watching, and it has had some upward and rising motion with it, and it has been having some left to right movement with it along the leading edge here, Travis. But we're just continuing to watch and monitor this. Right now, I haven't seen anything further than 3/4 way to the ground, but it's definitely there, Travis.
All
Back
right.
to you.
All right. I appreciate it, Brandon. So thanks to our storm trackers out there. Again, wide picture view of what's going on right now. Line of thunderstorms continues on radar. Back to links 3 if we can. There we go. Shower and thunderstorms right along this leading edge. And that's now in really southeastern portions of Okmulgee County, and then extending into western McIntosh County. This is where the warning is, and then where he is located. And then you can see this bulging into the Tulsa area. And then also all the way up to the north is where we have that storm. And what's going on with Pawhuska, let's find out. We'll get a quick update from Al. Al?
Yeah, that is still a severe storm that's underway right now. It's just to the north. We're going to zoom in here and take a look. We'll also loop it for you so you can kind of see. And if you are listening on KFAQ, the storm now is from Winona to near Pawhuska. It's actually through Pawhuska, but even back behind it, that's where we're going to still have the potential for some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. So that will continue to move north-northeast. We would anticipate the forward speed will pick up just a little bit. That's going to be probably a 35, maybe a 40 mile per hour movement. And by the way, a little interesting, there's going to be hardly any lightning with this activity so far today. So you may look at that and go, it's just a little bit of rain because it doesn't have the typical lightning, but it does have the potential. This segment of the storm, Travis, has already produced some 50, 54 mile per hour winds, and we're seeing the potential there in some spots. It's not going to be all through that line, but there could be some, 50, maybe 55 mile per hour winds.
Did you do a storm track on that?
It's rural areas just to the north of Pawhuska.
Just the north. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good to know. All right. Back to radar on links 3. Shower and thunderstorm activity. Another spot we're watching now, southwest of Skytook. Right at this moment, there's a little bit of a concern right here. Is our Osage camera available? Not available to us. Bummer. So this is circulation feature just southwest of Skytook. So this is just along that leading edge, and that's just to the southeast of where Alan was just talking to us about. So along this area, just on the southwest side of Tulsa, not much, but it's enough to cause some damage. We could get some 60 mile an hour winds and maybe a little bit more. It's just on the outside of the warned area, and I would imagine we're going to have to issue new warnings from the National Weather Service here because this is already out of our warned areas and it's showing up. So this is leading edge from Highway 75 it's to the west of Skytook, so it's headed toward Highway 75 in North Tulsa. But if you're around Skytook, be ready for some strong damaging wind potential. It's just 4 or 5 miles south west of town at this time, and you could pick up some 50, 60 mile an hour winds along that leading edge. Back further to the south along this edge, we continue to show the showers and thunderstorms moving through Tulsa. Nothing let's go back to velocities if we could real quick and take a quick look at that. And closer in, who you got?
That's Brandon.
Brandon? Okay. Let's go. So we're in downtown Tulsa. Then we're going to go back down a little bit further to the south. You can see along this leading edge in Tulsa, now moving through Bixby. And so there's some gusty winds with it. I'd say 40 to 50 miles an hour, but we're looking for spin ups primarily. This is already expanded into southeastern Tulsa County and now Okmulgee County to the east of Beggs. And that's where Brandon is. Brandon on 16. Brandon, where are you exactly?
Travis, I am just going to be, I'm on 16, just about 5 miles to the west of Bixby Road.
Okay.
Right, and right now I've got an area just about before you came to me, I had a lowered funnel that was about the tree line there, and it's continued to get wrapped up in rain, so we've got to move east with it, Travis.
All right, appreciate it. So that's why we're continuing coverage on the air. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue in the Tulsa area. We are under a tornado watch till 2 o'clock this afternoon, by the way. So that's something we do want to mention to make sure that you know why we're on the air. And in situations like this, along a leading edge, this happens a couple times a year, maybe once a year, where you'll actually have a line come through and then you'll have multiple spin-ups. Now, usually in spring, like April or May, you can have a lot of multiple tornadoes. You can have the same thing happen in October. It's just a little bit different and in terms of just the time of year, but that's why we're going to continue, because if something spins up real quick, could catch you way off guard. Shower and thunderstorm activity right now. Now we have a storm track from Statia, which shows this is from Okmulgee County, central Okmulgee County, just east of Highway 75, showing that that's going to track now to Stone Bluff and just southeast of Tulsa. Haskell coming up at about 11:30. We're sitting at 11:06 right now, 11:07. And that is also going to moving toward the Muskogee area at about 11:53. So there is movement in that direction that is going to be pushing it at about, how fast is moving, Stacia? About 35 miles an hour. Okay, so the whole line is moving, east segment is moving east, northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So along that leading edge, you will pick up some strong winds. To the south, we have rain and showers and thunder showers down in Pittsburgh County around McAllister, central portion of McIntosh County, not severe. The only severe thunderstorms we have are the ones that are moving across the Tulsa area. New severe thunderstorm warnings just being issued, and Alan, I'm going to have you cover those in just a second here. We'll just mention that those go till 11:45 along that leading edge to the north, but in central Tulsa, I want you to be very careful, be aware of what's going on. Darren is now in the clear at this moment, it looks like. Darren, can you give me a quick update from your location in Tulsa?
Yeah, Travis, literally just broke out of the rain coming up on the Yale exit here by the Creek Turnpike. And even as, you know, through the hills, as you look down towards the south, the area that you were just talking about, just to that would be the west of the Stone Bluff, Leonard area, you can see that well-defined area down in that area. So my plan is get around here on the southeast side of this leg, give you a better vantage point of that situation that's coming up, Travis.
All right. Hey, appreciate it, Darren. Greatly appreciate it. So the areas to the north now are the ones with severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's go to Alan, who is going to have an update and a storm track on what's going on with those storms. Al?
All right, Travis, this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that would encompass the far northern areas of portions of northern Tulsa County, portions of southern Washington County, also part of the Osage County area. So I've highlighted that storm track, and that's Sperry at 11:11, just a couple of minutes from now. The Skytook area at 11:12, Bartlesville at 11:33. The potential along this line for some wavy action there, some 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts in some spots. We continue to get some winds gusting at around 50 to 55 back behind it in the Mesonet data. I also want to tell you that on occasion, we see a small little circulation that's trying to develop. Right now, it's about 4 to 5 miles just west-southwest of the Skytook area. It doesn't look too impressive, but in this pattern where you have these little waves that are, you know, along that line, that is something that we're going to have to watch. So again, that would be right in this area, near just to west of Skytook, and you can see that line that goes all the way through portions of the Osage County vicinity, get back to Barnsdall, and then it moves to the east-northeast now at around 40, maybe 45 miles per hour. So again, that's a track for the storm that is on the northern edge. That's the northern edge. There's other storms that are located to the south And we've got severe thunderstorm warnings that are still underway as well for areas that are in the Tulsa County vicinity. That's including now downtown, midtown, the southern areas, all the way back down to Bixby, Old Mulgee. So all along that line, Travis, severe thunderstorm warnings do remain.
Okay. And speaking of which, we do have down to the south of us a little bit. At this moment, right in northern Okmulgee County, that's where Brandon's located. And Brandon, what do you have for us? What's going on?
Travis here at 52 and 16. If you can see right there in the middle of the shot, just above the tree line, there appears to be a funnel there, just kind of like we've been talking about all morning. There on the leading edge, you get these little funnels that get produced right there on the leading edge. We're continuing to watch it. Right now, I'm getting some winds out of the southwest at about 25 to 30 miles an hour, Travis.
Okay. So it's hard to see, but it's right in here. So that's what he's watching closely. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. So there is a little bit of circulation features that are going on with some of that. Let's take a look at what's going on. Links 3, remember, if you could. Thank you. And so this is Highway 16 and 52. That's where Brandon's located. And this is, again, a little bit of a notch right in here. So this is where we'll have some gustier winds coming in, he says, out of the southwest. And that is with this bulging through here. So always don't get to say this very often. Happy Camp Road. I like to say that. It just doesn't happen that often. We love to be happy around here for a change. Right along Highway 16, so you're right near the Bald Hill area, and then this leading edge is pushing through. Now, we do have new severe thunderstorm warnings that have been extended, and so we were kind of waiting on that because we knew that that was going to have to happen pretty soon because we were running out of the warning zone. So this new one will cover Wagoner County and most of Muskogee County, the northern half or 2/3 of Muskogee County, and then that will also extend into Rogers County. So this is a very big warned area, and that's just along that leading edge. And the reason, again, we're staying on the air is just because we are under a tornado watch till 2 o'clock. It's moving through Tulsa. We're also looking at the potential for it still to have a few little spin-ups along this leading edge. And so anytime you have that, that's why we have to continue to monitor it closely. It's better than going to programming and then 2 minutes later coming right back to and have to talk for 10 minutes about a storm or 20 or 30. So we're going to stay with this, and as you see with the rain and thunderstorm line, Alan's keeping an eye on what's going on to the north. You see the rain and showers and storms. There's additional rain that's still coming in from out of the southwest after this line comes through, so it isn't like one and done. But this is going to kind of knock down the atmosphere considerably. It could recycle a little bit again later this afternoon across southeastern Oklahoma. Val and Darren are not too far apart right now as they're looking at the storm coming on in. I'm going to go to Val. We haven't talked to Val for a minute. Val, can you give me an update on what you have and what it looks like to you?
Okay, so we've been riding just ahead of this line here, and every now and then we'll stop and we'll get out and we'll look at it, and we can see, I know a while ago you heard Brandon talking about rising motion. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. There's several pockets in there of rising motion, strong rising motion, and even a little bit of rotation going on. One of those is kind of to our west-northwest, and the other one looks like to me it's southwest of us a little ways. So we're just going to continue going on, trying to stay ahead of this line or this base as it rapidly moves to the east. Back to you. All
right. Speaking of rapid, it is making a big move, and I'm glad you mentioned that because we're going to do a storm track right now across the Tulsa area. This is already taken over really the Sperry, Skiatook areas now covered. And Al, I'm going to come to you with an update, or I'll need an update from you in just a second. This goes downtown Tulsa, and then you see from the Tulsa Hills to Jinx areas from where Val is located. Darren's just to the south of that as Darren is looking, and then that leading edge goes to Bixby and then back into Okmulgee County. And so we've got Brandon right now down south on that part of the storm. I know Val and Darren are pretty close to one another right now, but let's go to Darren with a quick update. Darren, give me one more quick update before I take off. We'll look up to the north with the L. Darren?
Yeah, Travis, this is a good example of the contrast that you'll see as this storm approaches. You see the light of the morning out there, but then you see this dark bank of clouds that's coming out. Right now, we're looking down towards the Coweta area. Now, we're going to pull off up here on Aspen, and we're going to turn around and look back towards the Bixby area to give you a view of that storm that's down there in that area, Travis.
Okay, I appreciate that, and so we're going to continue to watch that. Also, right now, just from where Darren is and Val's location, we're picking up some strong wind potential right now on the south side of Tulsa. So right along this leading edge, we could have 50 miles, 60 mile an hour winds with this. So if you are right now near Woodland Hills Mall, we want you to be advised that these are some strong winds that could cause some problems for you. You could even get power knocked out. Don't forget, if you have a radio, we're on News Talk on our 1170 Talk Radio, and also we're looking at this time. You can also see that along this leading edge from 81st down to about 91st, down to 101st, that is going to continue to move just right along 169. So just in basically South Tulsa, getting some strong winds. Velocities real quick, and then storm analysts if we could. Look at, okay, so that new update shows it much stronger right now in Tulsa. So this is real strong. I want to go back. Brandon, okay, we'll go down to Brandon real quick, and then I got to get to Al. But I'm real concerned with what's going on right here in Tulsa. Brandon, give me a quick update down here in Okmulgee County. What do you got?
Travis, here along 16, I'm getting some real strong rotation just off to my north, north of 16 here. A lot of strong rising motion in and out. I've got rotation coming from the west, and I've got rotation coming from the east right here in that little converged area right there in the middle of the shot there. So we're going to keep an eye on this and stay with it. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it greatly. Again, that's down to the south, just near the Bald Hill area. And so that's what's going on here, and just southeast Pumpkin Center, rotating area right in there, strong damaging wind potential near Pumpkin Center, and that is on the east side of Okmulgee County and really moving into western portion of Muskogee County, along the leading edge back into Tulsa, because we got to get up to the north too, where Darren is located and then Val is located. Hey, Val, can you give me just a real quick update on that line coming in?
Yeah, okay, looking straight south of us, I think it's trying to ramp up in the area south of us, because we're seeing the lowering. I don't know if you can see from our shot, the lowering has gotten lower over there. And it just looks like to me it's strengthening in that area. Pretty much due south of us, going to be south of the Creek Turnpike or very close to it somewhere.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right. Yeah, stay with that if you can, because that's what's going on right now. Go to what?
Darren will have that.
Okay, Darren, if you're with us too, because you can see Val's shot, that's coming in. That's South Tulsa right now, and we're going to give you the specifics over Woodland Hills Mall, and then that goes just past Woodland Hills Mall, because Val's right there at this time. And okay, Darren, go. Are you there, Darren?
Travis, what you're looking at here is looking due south on Elm out here in Broken Arrow. And if you'll look real close, there's a little bitty funnel hanging out the side of that wall cloud right there at the upper, about middle on the west side of that Travis.
Okay.
Little bitty, really rope funnel hanging out.
Okay.
Right there at the bottom.
Okay. Right. Okay. Just above the power lines, just right in the power line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is Elm in South Tulsa, looking south on Elm, just south of the Creek Turnpike.
Okay, stay right on that.
The funnel's getting bigger. It's getting bigger.
Okay, so if you guys in South Tulsa right now, I want to put radar back up and keep his picture going too, but this is where we're at. So what Val's looking at, he's looking down south, and Darren's looking at it. So this is circulation feature now moving in on Broken Arrow. Very concerned about that. Alan, do you have anything else that's a major concern right now? You're good? Okay, so if you're up north, you're okay for right now. Alan's keeping an eye on what's going on there. We do have the circulation feature right now in South Broken Arrow, southwest sides of Broken Arrow. So from Washington Street, as you can see, and then that extends to 129th East Avenue. That should be the center of the circulation. And then as well with Val. Val, do you still have the same picture?
Overspread with rain.
Okay.
We're getting off on 61st Street, and we're going east on 61st Street right now. But last we saw it down by where Darren was, it's really trying to ramp up down there. Okay,
it really is. It's going again. So let's go. What did you say, Stacia?
It looks like there might be two small areas. There's one near Woodland Hills Mall and then one in Broken Arrow.
Okay, yes, and there are at this time. So what? And Darren is also on the other one. Let's take a look at radar. Go back to radar if we can. Links 3. And so here's what we're looking at. So we have the circulation feature now at Woodland Hills Mall right here where Val is located. So there is a strong indication he's gotten taken over by rain. This is just now. We're going to do storm tracks on these in just a minute, but I wanted to running across the Broken Arrow Expressway around 51st Street, and really just from around Mingo, and then as it extends off to the east just a little bit. So just know that northeast sides of Woodland Hills Mall is getting hammered. Is our camera available right in that area at this moment, or is it getting pounded on?
We can pull up 169 in the BA here.
Okay, if you can do that, they're taking it. Okay, they've got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Did you do that?
I did
okay.
that, yeah.
All right, so this is what's coming in right now, just from the Broken Arrow Expressway and 169. So you can kind of get out of the rain for a second and see what's going on. Back on the radar for Tulsa, if you would, and keep this moving for a moment here. Widen out just a little bit. So we're from Mingo and extending to 169 now. Val's in the middle of that. Back further to the southeast. Let's go back into Broken Arrow along this leading edge. So here's still that couplet that's showing up just on the southwest sides of just downtown Broken Arrow. It's become much more intense. Darren, if you can open his mic for a minute and see what he's... Darren, what do you have for us right now? Because that's much more intense. Darren, are you there? This is okay. Darren, can you hear
Travis,
me?
there's a new there's a new area of circulation, Travis, that's on the north side of the Creek Turnpike now. This would be in the central part of Broken Arrow, and it shifted from the south to the north. It's not as intense as it was just a few moments ago from our last sonar, but it is definitely to the north side of the Creek Turnpike here now.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So again, we're watching this closely, not trying to freak anybody out in Broken Arrow, but traffic 1, can you guys in the control room take traffic 1? Well, I need radar. I need radar back so we can see that. But this is a look at what's getting hammered right now. So we need traffic 1 on the side. But we're situated now just in Broken Arrow, just west of kind of west of downtown, and then that's moving to the northeast at this time. So there's going to be some strong damaging wind potential, 50, 60 mile per hour, possibly more. Again, this is an area where we're getting some rotation. Let's go to velocities for a moment. And so this couplet's still showing up. And so we're literally, here's downtown just on the north and west sides now. It's moving across that area. Also, Alan's mentioning there's a little bit of a wrap up around Sperry at this moment. Circulation feature continues to be strong right here, Broken Arrow. Darren, you've got something for me? Go ahead.
Yeah, Travis, there's another funnel that's popped out. Let me spin it around here real quick. This is I'm on the Creek Turnpike, and I'm looking to the north on County Line Road. The roads are really wet. The grass is really wet. Let me spin around here. All right. That gives you an idea right there. You see the lower slanted off to the left-hand side right there, and the funnel is on the back side of that, sticking out. It's a little bitty rope funnel, about a third of the way to the ground. So it is a funnel, not a tornado, Travis.
Okay.
But these things have a history of spinning up, and then they'll go back in, maybe 45, 30 seconds.
All right. All right. So we're watching that again from his location in Broken Arrow and looking to the north. You're looking northwest of you?
This is due north.
Due north? Okay.
County Line. Yeah, County Line and the Creek Turnpike.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's Darren, Active Radar. So this is where he's looking at. That's the circulation feature we're looking at right in here. Now, Val is just to the north of that a little bit farther, and you can see where he is located. He is kind of stuck in a little bit more rain locations. And then we have this with strong winds, 50, maybe 60 miles an hour. Hey, Val, I'm going to ask a quick question of you, and then we got to go to Alan, who has a quick update on up around Sperry. Val, can you tell me about roughly winds, what you're getting right now?
Our winds were stronger just a little while ago from the southwest. Now they're pretty much from the west. Well, now they've shifted to the north. Not real strong, but from the north. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So that is right along that leading edge. Yep.
Reported the side at 51 for the wind gusts. Okay,
so some winds going along that leading edge, about 51 miles per hour. So this is still the circulation feature now, just pretty much running, we'll say, Kenosha to around 177th East Avenue. And then the leading edge goes on up to the north. So we're still watching what's going on in East Tulsa and moving up toward the Catoosa area. This will continue to track to the east. That whole area with Val's on as well. This will get it maybe to Inola to give you an idea. And we're seeing Shoto maybe at 1216. Alan is further north. If you widen out station just a little bit here so we can kind of put this all in perspective for a second. So what we're doing is we're looking and the rainfall, the shower and thunderstorm activity now leading across Tulsa, and we've got one, just the Skytook one still is wrapped up in that area. So let's go to Alan with an update on that. Al.
Okay, Travis, thanks very much. We're going to take a look at that storm across the far northern areas. Also, Tim Crone is located pretty close to the Sperry vicinity. We'll get an update from him in just a minute. Severe thunderstorm warnings do remain for this storm cell as it continues to move to the north and east at around 35 to near 40 miles per hour. The thing that's a little concerning with it is the potential. It's very wavy in this region, and so we're seeing the potential for these small little areas that could produce some winds pretty quickly. So that's near and just southwest of Collinsville, just a little north of Owasso, a little north and east of Sperry, and then there's also looks like maybe another area just to the north and northwest. So we'll kind of put some velocity data on. Now I want to show you, boy, Travis, look at that. That's shear rate potential right there, just to the southwest of Collinsville, and then also southwest of Ramona. So that's just a heads up that we're going to be watching there for the potential for some very fast damaging winds. Now, Tim Crone is in that general area. Tim, tell us your location there. What are you experiencing?
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I think you got cut out, Alan. Yeah, I'm on 116th Street North, in between Owasso and Highway 75. I'm getting significant winds out of the southwest right now, and probably 45 or 50. A lot of debris coming out of the trees, and very gusty winds right here. And I'm going to try to make it north to stay with that couplet. But I'm on the very east to the leading edge of this line right now. Back to you.
Okay, Tim, appreciate it. Tell us one more time your location. We see you're just passing an intersection there.
More pronounced, guys.
Throw it out there very quick.
I'm approximately 2 miles west of German Corner, approaching the northwest corner of
All right, Tim, we appreciate it.
I'm sorry, on 116th North.
All right, appreciate it very much. Again, all through this line, that is where we're going to have the potential for those winds coming up. All right, Travis, go ahead.
All right, we got another update coming in from Darren right now on this cell that's located just about 51st to 41st, right along on County Line Road. This circulation has tightened up considerably. Darren is right near that. Darren, go.
Yeah, Travis, it's going to be hard to make out right now, but the area right over NSU was producing a funnel that lasted about 2 minutes before I was overtaken by the rain. And so, again, this is right over the NSU and the Creek Turnpike area. Had a brief funnel there for about 2 minutes.
All right, thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. So that is the circulation feature in that little notch area that we're watching very closely, because what's going on right now, and again, we're not trying to scare people and go, there's tornadoes all over or something, but we have to be watching and monitoring just in case something does happen quickly. And so we don't want to cry wolf. We don't want people to get too freaked out. This though has the potential to cause some like quick spin-ups, and these quick spin-ups, they're not like a monster tornado, but they're still a spin-up, which is a small tornado potential, kind of like the Fairfax tornado that we had in the last couple days. So that's what we want you to just be aware of, is that we're in the same environment. So these things can happen very quickly, and that's why we're just staying on it as long as we're in Tulsa, and even to the east as long as we need to. This whole line now is pushing very quickly. This is bulged out. You can see this huge bulge showing up on the northeast sides of Tulsa, and so this extends back down right now County Line Road on the east side of Tulsa, western portions now Wagner County. That's where Darren is at NSU. Just to the north, this is circulation feature. Tornado warning is now going to be issued for this, looks like, for this particular storm. So this is most likely the location where they're going to do that. Val is underneath, Val's in the same spot, so that's why, as we look at what's going on right in here, circulation feature showing up in here. Tornado warning now issued on this storm. That's why we were talking about what we just did. We do want you to, as you look at this tornado warning is primarily for this circulation feature that Darren and Val have been on. Val, I don't know if you can see it very well from your location, if you're in the rain right now. What do you got?
Okay, best we can tell is the circulate. Now we're hearing the sirens going off here.
Yep.
I think they just issued a tornado warning.
They did.
The best I can tell, we're seeing a lowering just north of us.
Okay.
Just barely north of us where we're seeing this. We're going to get on the Creek Turnpike and go north here.
All right. Thanks, Val. Appreciate it. Let's go back on over to radar real quick, and circulation feature now for this warn storm is the 193rd East Avenue, and then you see at 41st Street. So this circulation feature right in here. This is moving, getting ready to move over the Creek Turnpike at this moment. Darren's just to the south of it, and Darren's in rain right now, so he can't see a ton. Hey, Darren, can you just give me a update while we're looking at radar? We're going to stay on radar right now. Can you just give me a quick update on what you see looking at?
Travis. The area that we're watching has now moved on the east side of the turnpike.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it just north of the surgery there.
Okay.
So it's well past the NSU area. Back to you.
All right, I appreciate that very much. So then again, tornado warning continuing in effect. So this is older data. Let's stay on this with latest. Let's try the Barron analyst and look at that real quick. And then we're also going to do a quick storm track. Okay, that's older data. So we'll go live radar and see if we have the shower thunderstorm continuing to bulge out. So that's moving straight out of this area. This is the tornado warning area, and you can see that includes Catoosa now. So we want you to move to a place of safety. We said this before. It's not going to be if there is a tornado, it wouldn't be a monster tornado, but that doesn't make a difference. Tornado on your house is, even if it's a small one, it would be on your house, would be a major problem. This will be over Catoosa now, and now east of the county line. So we're pretty much running east of 177th East Avenue, and then that extends back into northwestern Wagner County. That'll take us through Verdigris, Tiowa. You can see McFarland, Gregory locations, and then eventually it'll take it on down the road a little bit toward Claremore. Same storm, same locations with what's going on. Alan, I know I'm going to have you just keep track of what's going on up to the north, and if anything changes, let us know. Center of circulation, we have a little bit, this kind of a broader thing, but it's near the Catoosa area at this time. So come back in if you would, station on that a little closer and get a shear indications as well. So the radar is picking this up, but rain and thunderstorms, you can see that this has been enhanced as it has moved to the northeast. And so this is the problem that we have, is that it's not big, it's rain wrapped most likely when it gets into this environment because we have a lot of rain and it gets overtaken by that. But at this junction near Catoosa, and then also one to the south, these are the two locations. And look at lower level velocities if you could, a storm relative. And Darren's got another one? Okay. Darren, where's Darren on here? Darren's right here. Okay, just north. Okay, so both Darren and Val are close to it. All right, Darren, go ahead. What do you have?
All right, Travis. Now, this is the largest funnel that I've seen so far today with it. Creek Turnpike, this is going to be north of 51st. This may even put it up by 41st Street, but it's definitely on the east side of the Creek Turnpike now. There, you see that the funnel has occluded just that fast.
Okay.
But it will produce them. No tornadoes yet, but only funnels. Back to you.
All right. So we want to make sure everyone is staying aware that we're no tornado. We do have tornado warning, but our guys are basically underneath this, and so we're watching it right now and what's going on right here. So a tornado warning has been issued for northwestern portions of Wagner County. All of our radio stations now are taking live coverage with us, and at this point, just to give everyone a lot of information, we do have a tornado warning on the east side of Tulsa. That includes around the Catoosa area. Let's go back to radar for a minute if we could. Location at this time, we'll put it on the Creek Turnpike, which is just to the south and east of Catoosa. And that is the location. If you're in the rest of Tulsa, it's not that bad. But if you're around Catoosa, and that's on the north and east sides of town, we want you to make sure you're moving to a place of safety. The wind potential is running at about 60 miles per hour, and we know as well the circulation feature is just to the east of the Creek Turnpike. The data that we have right now is just a little bit on the old side, but that continues, and I say old by a minute, because Darren just mentioned that it has moved to the east just a little bit, and our tornado warning is expected to expire around 11:45. Right now it's 11:33. We do have this tornado warning continuing across southern Rogers County, and really it's moving out of the Tulsa County proper, and we are now primarily in northwestern portions of Wagner County and also into southern portions of Rogers County. So there's nothing in Wagner County per se. The main part is going to be the Catoosa area with that showing up. And along with the folks on radio listening in right now, heavy rains running from around the Owasso area through Catoosa. Those are moving northeast toward Claremore, and we have heavy rains in southeast Tulsa, but really the only one of concern with circulation is right around the areas from around Catoosa and extending back down to where Darren is located. Let's go back with Darren with an update. Darren, what do you have for us? I know you're on the turnpike. Looks like you're getting hammered with rain right now. You there, Darren? Darren online?
Yeah, Travis, go
okay,
ahead.
Go. All right.
It's become rain wrapped. I can't no longer see it. My plan is to drop a little bit east on 412 to get a better vantage point. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. Back to radar. So circulation is, he's close to that. Again, that's moving just to the east. So we've moved across the turnpike right now. We also have strong damaging wind potential from near Catoosa, extending back up along the line, and that also is with a storm that's just to the north. And so that's the circulation feature we have located here, and that continues to track to the northeast at a fairly rapid rate. So if you're just around Catoosa to the north and northwest and in Catoosa, we want you to be aware that this is a storm that has potential to produce a small tornado, and especially near and northwest sides of town right now appear to have the higher probability of having a possible tornado. Let's go back to radar for our shear markers if we could. And this is radar, showers and storms heavy across the Catoosa area at this moment. Also around the Catoosa area, the heavy rains could have some small hail just to the northwest sides of Catoosa. Tulsa now is clear of that. Strongest winds running from near Catoosa and just from where Darren and Vaughn were located, just along 412 and the Creek Turnpike, and then the circulation feature showing up just right around the Catoosa area back to the north. Notice how quickly that is moving to the north-northeast right now. So the center of circulation now going up to the north and west of Catoosa. So there's this is the main circulation feature here. Alan, do you have anything else up to the north of us? We're still safe? All right. And Port of Catoosa area coming in right here at the Port of Catoosa and along State Highway 266 as that wraps around the Port of Catoosa. And so that is what's tracking to the north and to the east at this time. Also, Tim is Tim getting a vantage point of that, Michael, at this moment? Tim, are you able to see what we're looking at there just north of Catoosa, or are you too far north?
I'm trying to get down there to Keatonville Hill. The sirens are going off at the fire station on Keatonville Hill at the top of the hill. I'm heading east right now, I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, and so we have a lot of sirens going off right now. So if you have tornado sirens going off in your community, and as Tim is mentioning, you know, we'll have that any place close to the tornado warned area. So that would be around Keatonville, where Tim, you can see where Tim is located now. So you can see, and we're probably going to have a little mixed signals. He goes down Keatonville Hill. But we're looking at the main circulation center just to the north of Catoosa at this moment. Val and Darren are on it. Val, do you have any visual, anything that you can see?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Val, you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
We're watching it. We're following it. We're just about ready to get on 44. And I think we're right behind Darren over here. But, man, this thing is just flat moving to the northeast here. But, yeah, it's maintaining its rotation. I mean, it's still a legitimate threat, and we're just going to keep watching it.
All right, I appreciate it, Val. And so no tornado on the ground at this time. We do have as well, back to radar if we could, the circulation feature continues near Catoosa. This is bulging out very quickly, so this was embedded in this thunderstorm area. And this is part of a bigger area of rain and thunderstorms, but we're going to focus on the tornado warning, which now is north of Catoosa. This is now just to the southeast of Collinsville, moving over Keatonville, also moving toward Claremore at this moment. So the tornado warning will continue. Velocity data continues to show that the circulation feature in this zone is located just to the north of Catoosa, and you can just see it right in here as it's wrapped up and it's accelerated. So the thunderstorm itself has accelerated. Val is really close to a main part of this, so it's not perfect, but in terms of giving you a definite definition of where it is, Val is very, very close, though, to the latest circulation feature showing up there. Also back to the north and to the west a little bit. Alan, we're going to continue our coverage, but I also want to mention, and if you can do just a quick summary of the also the other severe thunderstorm warnings that we have, because I'm going to just have you do that for a second, and then we're going to get Val and Darren back online here in just a moment. Okay.
All right. Okay, here we go. So just to get your bearings right now, we're 39 past 11. We still have a tornado warning that technically is underway for that circulation that is now east of the metro or east of Tulsa. It continues on just to the, I'll show you that in a minute, but since we've been tracking that, let me go up north just very quickly, show you that we do have now additional severe thunderstorm warnings that are issued. This is going to be for Rogers County, northwestern Rogers, northeastern Osage, Washington County, and western Nowata County. It's going to be until 12:15. So these storms that you're looking on the radar, the northern areas, those are moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. The potential for some 50 and 60 mile per hour winds. Then we have severe storms that are still ongoing in northeastern Tulsa County. Those storms are moving to the north and east as well. Then the storm that we're tracking right now that continues with the circulation and the tornado warning is around, at least the circulation feature, around Catoosa moving to the northeast. And you can see that red polygon area that indicates portions of Rogers County, also part of the Wagner County area that's technically included in the tornado warning. And then we have additional severe thunderstorm warnings that are located to the south. So these are continuing on to the far southern areas. In fact, they've been extended right now. So if you're watching around the Wagner, Porter, Coweta, Haskell, Muskogee area, you guys are now under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. You can see that very wavy line, Travis, that's going to be moving generally east-northeast. The potential is there for, once again, some of those 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, but the tornado warning continues just to the east of the Tulsa County area right now.
All right, thanks, Al. Greatly appreciate that. Gave us a chance to get a better visual of what's going on. Right now, the heaviest of the rain and thunderstorm activity, as Alan was mentioning, just north east of Wasso, and extends back down now north of Catoosa. Our storm teams are covering that area. Is Tim available right now, Michael? You're talking to him? Okay, because we're gonna try to get some information on that. Let's go back in and take a closer look on the rotating areas, and we'll start first of all with velocity data and where Val is located right now, and that's near Verdigris, and Verdigris is just to the west-southwest, really, as it look, not too far from getting into Claremore. Let's go to velocities, if we could, and then what'd you have? Val, okay, and then where's Val? Okay, there's Val, and right around the Verdigris area. Let's go to Val with an update. Val, what do you have?
Yeah, hey, I was going to let you know we just had a brief funnel. We're on the turnpike right here, and it's going to be northeast of Catoosa. Look at our shot right there is where this thing wraps in. We're getting buffeted now with probably 40-mile-an-hour south-southeast winds, and what we can see also is that there's a lot of low clouds streaming from the south to the north, from the southeast to the northwest into that circulation. And where you're looking at is right at the center of the circulation right there. This thing is moving really, really fast. We're really having trouble keeping up with it, but that's it.
All right.
Right there. It's going to be approaching Claremore pretty quick.
Yes, it is. At the rate it's going, it is really rolling. All right, thanks, Val. Holler at us again. And here we go. Let's go back in, and you can see where Val is located. So we're looking at velocity data and information. They did just cancel. They just canceled? Okay. So the tornado warning has been canceled from the National Weather Service. The circulation features, and as we look at it on our live velocities, is just not as confined and as specific as it was before. Take a look at Storm Analyst if we could as well, because the radar is showing shower and thunderstorm activity. So again, our tornado warning is now being canceled as that has moved, and the circulation is not wrapped up as big as it was. It expires? Is it? Oh, I thought you said it was, okay. Okay, so it's going to expire 11:45. The National Weather Service has not canceled it as of yet. So this is just to the east of Owasso. The core of the heaviest rain and thunderstorms continues to show up. There could be some small hail associated with that as that continues to track to the northeast. And as Val mentioned just a moment ago, it's moving really, really fast. And shear indications from some of this indicate that we still are running it right around Keatonville, just to the southwest of Keatonville. And that's where Tim is. And Michael, do I have Tim available to me right now? All right, Tim, if you would, and come on in a little bit closer on where Tim's located just west of Claremore. Give me a quick update from your vantage point, if you would.
Yeah, Travis, I'm on the north side of where Val is, and looking down to my south, I can see some uplifting, but there's not as extensive as it was earlier. There's much darker and lower to my south and east, but where I'm looking here, occasionally I do see some updrafts, but it looks, if anything, it might be cycling right now. It's just moderate winds here right now at just west of Claremore.
All right, I appreciate it. Radar shows that the rain and showers, there's a couple of clusters of showers and thunderstorms that are trying to roll straight on up to the north. And then you have our band of heavy rains that are showing up just from around the Verdigris area and then extending back on up to around Collinsville. This is where the heaviest of the rains are located at this time. And then you're seeing there could be some merging going on in a few of these locations. So just be aware of that. So you see where Tim is in relationship. He's just on the west-southwest sides of Claremore. And we have Darren, which is, again, watching it from just south of Claremore on 412. And then we have Val, which is in it. So this whole area of thunderstorms and the whole line, and again, we'll talk to Alan in just a moment, but we do have heavy rain, thunderstorms, Collinsville, and that goes to near Limestone area now. So it's moving out of the Owasso area. And I know our Owasso cam, I don't know if you guys have that available to us, but we're going to take a look and just see how much rain has fallen in that area. Also from Valley Park to Keatonville, that's the leading edge of this at this moment, with heavy rains continuing to shoot on up across this area. So we do have a little bit of merging going on. The tornado warning is going to be most likely allowed to expire at this point, and we're looking for heavy rains to continue across this region. We still have some strong to severe thunderstorms. Alan was just pointing out. We'll talk to him in just a minute, get a broader perspective of it. We are also now, okay, good to know, continuing our coverage on KFAQ, Talk Radio 1170. AM, and we're looking at shower and thunderstorm activity continuing across areas from around Limestone, Valley Park, back on up to north to near Collinsville. Circulation features are limited at this time compared to what it was. Velocity data is showing that we have not much going on from Keatonville down to Verdigris. This has weakened considerably. Back to the north, though, and as we look a little bit further to the north, up around the Oologah area, seeing a little bit of an impact in this particular zone from near Oologah, as there's some strong winds and velocity data on INX, if you would, for a minute, because this is a delayed. Very delayed, as you see. So the rain, so there's still area around Oologah that has some circulation feature associated with it. So we do want you to just be advised. Tulsa's clearing out. Clearing out in relative sense in terms of it's still rainy and showery across the area. But we continue to monitor the heaviest of the rain and thunderstorms that are continuing to the east and northeast sides of Tulsa. Alan's been watching the ones to the north. Up around Bartlesville. Alan, I'm going to get you, if you're ready to set up, and it looks like you are. Let's go ahead and find out more about what's going on up to the north. Alan.
Yeah, we still have severe storms that are underway right now in the northern areas. That would be Washington County, and then it kind of sneaks back down into portions of far northeastern Tulsa County. And that line extends all the way back down to Muskogee. So there's a broad line of thunderstorm activity that is technically severe, but I'll just focus very quickly right now on those areas that are to the north. So Dewey, Bartlesville, Oshaleta, Ramona, even though that leading edge is to your east, the potential is still there that you guys are going to have some heavy rainfall and still some fairly stout winds. But the wind production that I can see that looks like maybe a little stronger would be just to the east of Oshaleta, east of Bartlesville. Some of those winds are around 50 to maybe 55 miles per hour. You can see on the track right now it's 1146. So Nowata would be at 1202, Delaware at 1205, and Lenapaw at around 1209. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that would be underway. By the way, we're all included right now in a tornado watch that goes into, that continues on until the 2 o'clock hour today. Then I'm just going to slide the radar a little to the south. And that next polygon area, that's an entire area that it would be tracking severe storm potential. And so this area includes a number of counties here, a lot of real estate. So that's going to be across portions of Rogers and Wagner and northern Muskogee, part of northeastern Mulligan County, and extreme eastern sections of the Tulsa County area. That's a severe thunderstorm warning, and I think that's going to continue on as well for a little longer here. That might go for another 25 or 30 minutes, and the potential is there also for winds that could be exceeding 50 or maybe 60 miles per hour. So we'll kind of zoom in here and take a look. This is around Porter and Wagner. Muskogee, you guys just to the west and north of Muskogee. There's some potential there from a radar standpoint of some very strong winds that are underway right now. And that would be just northwest of Muskogee into the Tallahassee area there. Let me take a look and flip on the radar potential here. Travis, take a look at that right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see that small area there. Muskogee, let's put the bearing button on here. The shear rate doesn't look very impressive, but again, that's severe thunderstorm warning that is underway. There could have some damaging winds along that line.
All right. Hey, thanks. And is Brandon online right now? Yes. All right. Hey, Brandon, if you would, give us a quick update from that location, if you would.
Yeah, Travis, right now we're on 16th. Here in Muskogee, I can contest to what Alan was just saying. Whenever the leading edge of that line came through, I got hit with 65-mile-an-hour winds, Travis, and it's definitely racing off to the east pretty quick. We're trying to keep in front of this, but no, right now we're just getting some light rainfall, and we're going to keep with this to the east, Travis.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate it, Brandon. So just some rain, thunderstorms. So not wanting to, let's go to Lynx 2 if we could. I'm going to throw you a little curveball here just for a second. Sorry, guys. Lynx 2 for just a second. And is that Lynx 2? Am I looking at Lynx 1? I wanted 1. Sorry, my bad. My bad, Lynx 1. A lot of links. This is the tornado watch, and the tornado watch really is along the leading edge. So we have 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings. We're at 11:49, so we'll continue our coverage through the noontime and have our noontime, our noon newscast coming up in a little bit. We're going to continue to monitor, though, what's going on with these thunderstorms because we have 2 clusters, or really at the leading edge. Notice how down south you guys don't have anything, but that's not to say that we don't see the potential for additional strong to severe thunderstorms developing later. So we want you to be aware of that. Let's go back to Lynx 3 if we could now, please. But the tornado watch continues till 2 o'clock. So here is the areas of rain and thunderstorms closing in a little bit closer to what's going on in our areas as far as Tulsa. And Alan will keep an eye on what's going on up north. But Tim is close near Claremore right now. You see the heaviest rains and bands of thunderstorms northeast of Collinsville that extends to the west of Claremore. Moderate to occasionally heavy downpours of rain now kind of leading into this on the east side near Claremore, on the southeast side of Claremore. Velocity data not indicative of anything too super bad right now, but we do have some strong gusty winds of about 40 to 50 miles an hour likely along the leading edge of this as it continues. And so it's kind of in a fragmented look right now. Strong winds moving from near Keatonville to around the Verdigris area. So Tim is near that. Is Tim available to talk, Michael? Is Tim available right now? Okay. Hey, Tim, if you're there, can you give me a quick update on what's going on and what you see off to the west of you?
Yeah, Travis, just north of Claremore on 88 heading towards Oolagaw. Back to my west, I do see it's a relatively broken line appears here. Nothing too significant. When I went through there earlier, I did have winds up to 45, but right now it just looks like a general thunderstorm coming through. It doesn't look too impressive yet, but I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. All right, I appreciate it. Who's on? 39. Okay, and Jason, okay. Is Jason online or not? Okay. Hey, he is, you said? Or not? I think he did. Okay, Jason, are you? He's there. He is? Okay. All right, Jason's got right now. Jason, you're going to have to tell me exactly where you are. Are you in Porter right now?
Yeah, Travis, I'm on 51 coming into Wagner, and I've been overtaken by the rain. Okay. It's just torrential rain.
And have you had any strong winds as that line moved through? Because you're under a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, as I went through Coweta back there, I had gusts 50 to 60 mile an hour come through. I had small tree debris in the road as I come through Coweta.
All right. All right, so that's pretty much what everyone's going to have to go through, and you can see what Jason's picture shows there. Really, really heavy downpours of rain, which is not surprising because we're kind of in a tropical air mass at this point. So very, very heavy rainfall. Stacia, you have something? Okay.
The Mesonet site from Porter is reporting about a 40 to 41.
Okay, right now. So, okay. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. And again, the rain and thunderstorms continues along this line. What we're looking at right now is a velocity, which is looking at raindrops basically and how fast they're moving and what direction they're moving. So it just shows that we don't have a whole lot of circulation associated with that right now. But a severe thunderstorm warning does continue in effect for this entire area to the east of Tulsa. Some of the velocities have weakened, and also some of our shear rate numbers are going down as well. So this storm has weakened quite a bit across some of these areas. With the heaviest of the rain and shower and thunderstorm activity, though, we want you to know that around Broken Arrow, still getting some heavy rains off to the east in northwestern Wagner County, and then back to the north. Darren's watching that. And Darren, if you're with me right now, can you give me a quick update as you see that line and what's going on along 412?
Yeah, Travis, the good news is that the line that was along 412 just to my north has really broken up in the past few minutes. I mean, it's really dramatic. It's nowhere near like what it was. And so my attention now is more focused back towards the south, as you were mentioning, to the Coweta-Wagner area. And if you take a look at the shot there, you can see that dark line of clouds. So we're kind of easing back towards that way to get you a better vantage point of that, Travis.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate it, Darren, very much. So that's what we're watching again as that line of thunderstorms continues to track across that area. Alan Crone's also keeping an eye on what's going on up to the north and to the north of Tulsa. Alan, what do you have for us?
We still have the severe storms that are underway. Technically for Bartlesville, Washington County area, Nowata, back down through the Claremore area, and that extends into the Muskogee County vicinity as well. You can see those flashing polygons that are kind of taking place right now. So if you're listening to us on KFAQ, that would be still technically including extreme eastern Tulsa County. And then around Catoosa, right up 44 to Claremore, you've got heavy thunderstorm activity there that still could produce maybe some quick burst of damaging downburst of wind, also heavy rainfall. And then that extends southward from Broken Arrow, right down the Broken Arrow Turnpike. So if you're traveling down the Turnpike, once you get past Broken Arrow close to the Coweta exit, closer to Porter, the heavier thunderstorms are located just a little bit north of Highway 351, but they're right on top of the area in between Coweta and Wagner. So if you're trying to travel in that direction, you just need to wait just a little bit longer. So we're showing you that right now on the radar screen here. But you can see the thunderstorms that are still going on. You guys had mentioned the wind potential that we had with even the tornado warning earlier. I just checked some of the power outage issues around the eastern sections of Tulsa County and portions of western sections of Wagner County, basically around Broken Arrow. Where that tornado warning was located, we have 314 outages reported right now. So that's the highest outage that I can find. And then also just south of downtown, there's about 40 to 50 folks or customers without power. And then it's just fairly spotty across those areas to the south. So that's what we have right now in terms of severe thunderstorm warnings. They're basically just elongated from Bartlesville into the Nowata vicinity and then back down through Claremore and Rogers County, and then also into portions of Wagner and Muskogee County. So you can see on the side of the screen right there, who do we have there? Who's that right now that's on the screen?
Sounds like Darren.
Is that Darren? Yeah. Darren, Darren, can you tell us what's your location is, because those clouds have gotten a little lower there?
Yeah, they have in the past few minutes. Well, this is a good example of some scary-looking clouds. What we are now, we're about 2.5 miles south of 412. We're definitely east of Inola, but this is looking back towards the Coweta-Porter area, and this is going to be the storm that you're looking at right there. This is going to be on the east side of 351 there, but that just shows you a good example of those scary-looking clouds. You're going to see some upward rising motion, but if you can see the pronouncement of it, it's starting to develop a shelf cloud right there, and so that's indicative of some high wind that's going to be coming through this area in the next few moments, Alan.
All right, Dan, we appreciate it. Again, that area is still under a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, this is newly issued for Rogers County, southwestern Mays County now. Southwestern Mays, you guys are going to be included in this severe thunderstorm warning. Also the Wagner County area, and this is going to be until 12:30. That's exactly what Derry was talking about. This is moving east-northeast at around 40 miles per hour. And the potential is there still, Travis, for maybe some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. And a reminder that we are still under a tornado watch today until 2 o'clock along and ahead of this leading edge.
Yeah, and it just doesn't really want to quit. And a pretty spectacular shot there from Darren as you look at that and you can see that cloud base. If we could we go to the Darren's picture for just a minute? And wanted to point out on there, again, as you look at the SLC, scary looking cloud base, this is what you're going to see in advance of this continuing for some time. So just make sure that you know that as this is starting to advance into your area, and that's what we're constantly watching. It's a ragtag look, but someplace along this leading edge, sometimes we can have air rising very quickly, and as that air is rising very quickly, then we can get a wrap up, and then we'll get a potential for a small tornado. So this isn't the worst thing in the world, as Alan mentioned, I've mentioned before, is that this is rain, showers, thunderstorms, and unfortunately, it's kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack sometimes as far as some of the heaviest rain and thunderstorm activity. But that's the pictures that you see of what's coming in and in advance of the line of thunderstorms. And back to Links 3 if we could, and this is the leading edge right now. Stations put our storm track together. So this goes all the way from just really around Caney, Kansas, and then extends now well east of Bartlesville to west of Nowata, back down to the south. There's a lot of lines here, I know, but the ones that are blinking are the severe thunderstorm warning polygons, which are the normal that you see. And then this shade that you see right in here, this is the leading edge of this rain and showers and storms as far as our storm track and what's going to be expected. So Chelsea, and then extending back on down around Pryor at 12:14 and 8 Air around 12:20 is the leading edge of rain, showers, and storms. Michael, did you? And we do have as well, okay, let's go back if we can, and we're going to come back in where Tim is located. He's not too far from just north of Val. You can see Darren. A couple of our guys are not on GPS right now, but Tim's in the middle of some of that. Tim, go. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm just right at the Hooligaw Dam, and just momentarily had a very brief spinning formation go right through here, and had just some leaves and some very small branches kind of go through. But I'm more likely or not than it was just part of the gust front. But it caught me by surprise because I was looking at a lowering to my south, and then all of a sudden the gust front went through, and it got a lot of I don't want to say debris, but a lot of leaves and stuff like that just blowing around very briefly, and then it was gone.
All right, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. And you are watching News on 6 at noon as we are now moving into the noon hours. And we're talking about rain and thunderstorms. So thanks for joining us for our News on 6 at noon newscast. Dave Davies is along with us as well, and he'll have some information, some news coming up shortly. We continue our coverage, though, of rain and showers and thunderstorms that are still causing a lot of issues, and a line that extends all the way from Wagner and down into eastern portions of Oklahoma. So far, the severe weather threat has been fairly limited in southeast Oklahoma. But you can just bet Alan Crone's going to be keeping an eye on McAllister and everything down to the south to make sure nothing gets carried away. We are looking at rain and thunderstorms that continue, though, to be the most intense. And you can kind of see this as well as we can, where the red. You can say, oh, I see the red. Yeah, and that's where most of the intense thunderstorms located. That's where we do have our warnings. We have additional rain that will be with us off and on all day. Now, Stephen and Michael have been working as well on a forecast, so we'll have some updates on what we think will happen during the course of the afternoon in terms of additional shower and thunderstorms that could be strong to severe. So that's still going to be a problem for some folks. It's not just going to be gone. This is all gone. Everything's fine. It could be still some additional strong to severe storms in southeast Oklahoma. So the leading edge, and Alan mentioned strong to severe storms, and we do have right now the leading edge of this, especially if we come in a little closer down into northern portions of Wagner County and then also into southern Rogers County. Now, Darren is just near Inola looking back at this line of thunderstorms. Darren, if you could give us a quick update on what you have.
Yeah, Travis, something interesting is developing here. We talked about the broad line of the shelf cloud approaching us, but this little bitty, a small portion of this, the front of the line advances north and west, and then the back side of it is starting to circulate and moves back towards the southeast. And it's even developing a small little lowering here on the front side of this. If you look right over the top of the south, just a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about there. Just a little bit of a lowering right there. Just enough to get those clouds down. But there is some circulation right there, Travis. I'll keep watching this as it moves towards the east and northeast, Travis.
All right. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. And so that's that line, and Darren's watching it. So if you are in Wagner County, we have our severe thunderstorm warnings continuing across this area. Heavy rain and thunderstorm activity is going to be the main culprit, along with strong gusty winds. As we look at the little couplet location, now this is just southeast of Inola, and this is where Darren's talking about. So this is a rotating area right in here. Strongest winds is, of course, what we're looking for specifically. And this has been just like the weirdest year ever. We had basically no tornadoes in the spring. And and then we had that freezing cold April. We had the hot, dry, kind of nasty May. And then we just kind of had interesting summer. And then the air's been wet for a while, except unless you're on the north side of Tulsa, because you haven't had any rain. Now you're just finally getting the rain. So it's a... And so there's been areas, there's about 3,000 folks around 3,000 customers around Broken Arrow without power right now. So there's quite a few folks that lost power through this whole thing. And it wasn't a whole lot of lightning strikes, so it's probably had a lot more to do with some wind damage potential. But we're still looking at South Road 4220, where it intersects with East Road 620, where the circulation feature continues to show up a little bit more. And so that's just southeast of Inola, where Darren is located. Back up further north along the line, we're going to go to Ellen. He'll get us a storm track on the north side, but Val is along the leading edge. He's been booking it to the northeast on I-44. Val, if you're with us, can you give us a quick update from your location, what you have? Looks like you're right along the leading edge.
Well, Travis, we just now, as you speak, busted out of the heavy rain, and there is some heavy, very zero visibility rain on I-44 that we just came out of now. What we're watching here is, I mean, it's slow to develop. Everything kind of weakened there for a time. But I'm thinking if this storm is starting to re-intensify again. As a matter of fact, you can't see it in our shot because it's just north of us here. But we're looking at what looks like a developing lowering along the leading edge of this just to our north. And it's kind of in an area where it tends to have a little bit of a kink in the line, or if you will, inflow coming into the line here. But it's nothing crazy yet, but we're going to keep watching it. Back to you, Travis.
All right, Val, greatly appreciate it. So again, our storm teams are out running and gunning right along with those storms. Here's a look at radar and showing you this is a shear swath indicator, which just shows us where the strongest winds have been associated with these storms as they've moved. So this is a little bit of history, but it also is pointing out where Val is located, and he's saying it's getting stronger. Notice what's going up right there. Where Darren is located, notice this is what he has been watching very closely. So the guys are right on that. And Tim, located near Ulaga, notice these lines and rain and showers that I shouldn't say showers, this is more wind driven in terms of what a shear swath is. And so you can see some of that, and you can also see that up around the areas from around Skytook to Avant to around Ramona, and then also in northern Tulsa County, as that's the one that Tim has been watching. So those are the locations we've been keeping an eye on, and you can tell that we've had to track those for a while, and that's why we're continuing to do our coverage right on here through our nooncast. So we're looking at the heaviest rains and showers and thunderstorms just to the southwest of Darren, and some of our shear indications right now are pretty weak, as you see, but it's there, and then there's also some redeveloping in some of those areas. So when you look, you see this little area right in here. Doesn't look like much, but as we take a closer look at it, again, this is where Darren is located. And Darren, I'm going to go back to Darren in just a second, but as you look and velocity, can you give me a velocity data on this? And if you can, I know we've got great pictures there. If we go full screen for a moment, on radar. I would appreciate it, guys. This is the circulation feature right in here. So we're at 610 Road. This is South 4240 Road. And so we've got a couplet right in here, just where Darren's located. Darren, can you give us an update on what you're looking at? I guess it'd be right on, basically right on you, almost.
Yeah, that's right, Travis. And what you can see, it's because it's so close on me, but if you can look at the raindrops there, you can see some rotating rain curtains. Now, see, they're just hit by the rain. But just off to my south, let me move to the east a little bit more. As that circulation feature continues to move to the east and northeast, you can, in advance of it, you can see those rotating rain curtains as they approach you, Travis. So I'm going to get out in front of this again and get another look at it.
Hey, thanks, Darren. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, has to just stay right along that leading edge, just barely there. I want to go to Links 1 for just a moment and also point out Tornado Watch now has been canceled, and this is the Tornado Watch when we're just kind of watching out for tornadoes. Remember, warning means it's actually happening. The Tornado Watch has been canceled for Tulsa County, Washington County, areas to the west and to the south. Now, not to the southeast, because we still have Muskogee County, we still have Wagner County, Cherokee County, extending off to the east, to the northeast. I can name all the counties, but we still have tornado watch for you guys through this afternoon in the leading edge of that. There is a chance that we could have some additional development in southeast Oklahoma as we go through the rest of the afternoon as well that could go beyond or extend beyond 2 p.m. So we'll be watching that. Right now, 2 warnings are showing up. Alan's been watching some of those that are up to the north. He'll have a storm track for us on the Bartlesville areas with the storms. Let's go back to Lynx 3 for a moment, and where Darren is located, I want to point this out. This is also an update. So he's into more of an intense area. So we're going to be back with Darren in just a minute around Neodesha, and then extending back to the north of Wagner. These are stronger winds along that leading edge of those showers and thunderstorms, and that's where we're in the warned area. So this again, you see a little indent located here. So we have winds rushing in here, and then we also have winds pulling out here. So there is a bit of a couplet showing up near toppers at this time. So you guys are probably getting some 40, 50 mile an hour winds and some localized very heavy downpours of rain. You are in the warned area near Rocky Point as well. So all of this, Yonkers locations, you guys, we're watching that. And it's going to be some gusty winds, not tornado per se, but where Darren's located, we still have strong. Huh? Okay, and let's go back to Darren real quick with an update. Darren?
Yeah, Travis, this is a good example. If you look at that flag that's out in front of these people's house here, that gives you an idea of how strong those winds are out of the south. But just a few moments ago, we had winds out of the north. So that these wrapping rain curtains were right over, we went right through it, and there was even small tree limbs in the air that just passed right over the top of us on 412, Travis.
All right, I see leaves and stuff flying there. So, yeah, those are ripping along. Would you estimate 40 mile an hour?
No, that big gust, Travis, was 60 mile an hour plus.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So again, that's Darren. That's along that leading edge. Back to radar for a moment. Rain and thunderstorms. So that's where he's located. In fact, radar estimates here showing 50 to 60, and so Darren's all over that. And you see that couplet location right in here where he is located. Val's further to the north, and we also have some uptick as well from our storm analysts. So there is a chance of maybe some small hail. Mainly the winds are probably what's driving a lot of this at this moment. Further to the north, Alan's been watching that. Alan, what do you have for us? What's going on up here?
Yeah, there's still just strong to severe thunderstorms that are located across the far northern areas right now. So technically, we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway. So the first one is going to be across extreme northern sections of Washington County and the Nowata County area, and that extends down and clips the far northern sections of Rogers County. The second one is basically bellying up right next to it, and that's going to be from Oologah back to Claremore to Catoosa, then around that thunderstorm activity you guys have been tracking. That's all the way back down to Claremore and to the Wagner vicinity. Those are the only 2 severe thunderstorm warnings technically that we still have right now. I'll also show our friends and neighbors to the south, just so you can see it here. Storms are ongoing right now, or I should say heavy rainfall, east of Shakota, west of Webbers Falls, also the Wilburton area. Those are not severe, but all in this area, eastern Oklahoma, we've had very little active weather this morning. So Cherokee County, Stillwell, Jay, Grove, the Lake, Grand Lake, Adair, Pryor, Veneta, Welch, Miami, all of this area is still prime for the potential for developing thunderstorms that may end up being strong to severe later. We still have the tornado watch that is underway. We're going to point out something here across the area from around Wagner to Choteau to Inola. You can see these thunderstorms that are lined up right now. Every once in a while, when we see the bottom end of these storms, which are elongated right now from Claremore back down to Fort Gibson, if that tail end moves a little more to the north and becomes a little more oriented from northwest to south and east, that's when we typically start to see the increase in those wind speeds. So we'll kind of watch that to see what happens. That would be around Fort Gibson back up to Choteau, and then just to the west around Inola. There's been some indications of some pretty stout winds, but just on a very small area right in that region. So that would be around the Choteau area, in between Choteau and Inola, and then also up to the west. So all of those counties that I just mentioned, you guys are under severe thunderstorm warnings that are still underway. The potential for some 50, 60 mile per hour damaging winds that are underway. If you are watching, let's say, in the downtown area, Tulsa County to the west, technically you're no longer under the tornado watch. You still have some rain coming down right now, but there's no more severe weather threat for central Tulsa County back out to the west around Manford or the Shamrock or the Creek County area, at least right now. That's the way that it looks, at least at this point. Also want to point out, again, and Stacia had mentioned this a couple of minutes ago, we checked the power outage issues about 20 minutes ago. There was about 360 folks without power near the Broken Arrow vicinity, and now that has really jumped up. We're at 3,092. So we do have some of those power issues that are underway. The severe thunderstorm in the northern areas, by the way, has now been extended. So that's going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go a little more to the east. And that's why we're kind of talking about those areas just east of us have not yet been impacted by thunderstorms. So we're going to zoom in here and take a look so you can see that flashing polygon. So your NOAA weather radio is probably going off right now. This is Craig County, northeastern Rogers County, northwestern Mayes County, the far northeastern sections of Washington County, and also I would say probably the majority of, well, most of Nowata County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. Technically until 1 o'clock. It's moving northeast at 35 miles per hour, and the potential is there, Travis, for maybe some 55 to near 60 mile per hour winds.
Okay, and that is probably a good estimate because we just had radar estimates down around Fort Gibson of about 60 to 70. So this is, even though it doesn't look very impressive, it is just being a pain and it won't go away. So heavy rain, thunderstorms, multiple locations around here. We do have around the Fort Gibson area at this time Brandon. He's available, right, Mike? Let's come in a little bit closer to the Fort Gibson area because the winds are fairly strong right now. They have been very strong around the Fort Gibson Lake area. Brandon, you have to give us an idea of where you are because I don't have you on GPS. What's going on? What do you have?
Okay, Travis. So I'm on 62, just near Highway 10, actually the Highway 10 and the 62 junction. So I'm just south and west of Fort Gibson. Right now, I'm just getting some sprinkles at my current location. I'm trying to advance my way further east to get a better handle on this cell that's near Fort Gibson. But all along the leading edge of this, just a lot of scary-looking clouds, a lot of low, ragged clouds to mention. But there is an area that I'm starting to notice just to my northeast that is starting to cause some concern, but I'm moving that way to get a better vantage point.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, Brandon, very much. And so, again, that's down by the Fort Gibson area. And you can kind of see kind of a unique cloud structure pretty much as that continues to blow out and continue to move to the east. Back on radar right now for a minute, and then we're going to talk to Jason and find out where Jason is located. So this is from around the Fort Gibson area. This is already blowing through Muskogee. So we're looking at this moment from around Hobart. And this has moved across the lake from Taylor Ferry. We're already just moving in on Hobart at this time and getting ready. We're moving into western Cherokee County and then extreme eastern portion of Muskogee County at this moment. Heavy rain, thunderstorm activity. One of the heaviest cells located right here just east of OK. Then back up to the north just west of Hobart and then around the Fort Gibson Lake itself where we've been talking about with Brandon. Also, Jason, you're going to have to give me an update on where you are because I'm not really sure. Where are you and what's going on right now?
Yeah, I'm 69 headed north, just to Wagner. I can see the base of the storm Darren's watching. I've got very little rain. It's pretty much moved on to my east, but I'll keep heading north and see what we get.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. So again, that's Jason, and so he's along 69, and we're looking at just at rain and thunderstorm activity. Back to radar for a minute, and thunderstorm activity as you extend even further to the north. And again, this is out of the Tulsa area. Our tornado watch is out of Tulsa. We're going to continue with coverage here for a while longer before we go to the newscast. And said Dave Davies is waiting here just a minute. Around Maisie right now, some of the heaviest rains showing up right in the area from around 69 to Shoto. Darren is located right here. Darren, if you can, give us an update on what you have right now.
Yeah, Travis. Going through Shoto right now, and the shot that you're looking at is looking off to the north and to the west. And the areas that we were concerned about a little bit earlier, they're around the Inola. This is the remnants of it, and it's become much more broad. But due west of Shoto right now, there's another area that is quickly developed. You're looking at the velocities on radar there. You've got another lowering developing, like just exactly what we talked about over there around Inola. Those converging winds, those quick little spin-ups. I've got eyes on it, Travis, and if it changes, be the first to know. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Darren. Greatly appreciate it. So back to radar, and you can see rain, thunderstorms right where he's located near Choteau. Again, this is a broad area of strong winds, and then a few embedded areas, as we said, that have a little bit more higher impact potential for at least some rotation. Right now, along this leading edge, as we go on to the north a little bit further, we're looking at what we call velocities. Winds are estimated. This is just off of the surface near 60 miles an hour. Some of that will translate down closer to the surface, so that will make a difference on that. Further to the north and along this leading edge, we're looking at the rain and showers and thunderstorms continuing. And so as you see along, and it's just kind of broken, it's not a super solid line, and we're looking close to the radar, so we're getting some radios out, but Harmony Star and then extending back to the north. And because of the winds, this is primarily a wind event right at this moment. Val is right at the intersection of multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, it looks like. So it's like all these little polygons just going all over right in here, these lines. So Val's right there. Let's talk to Val for just a second about what he has as he is looking back toward the west, toward Bushy Head, and that's just blowing in right across him as we speak. What do you got, Val?
This storm that you're looking at here, just to our west, looks like to me it's getting stronger because we're starting to see basically the line and the base to our kind of our northeast now firm up a little bit and start to develop a little bit of a lowering on it. As right now we're going back a little ways to the west, and then we're going to go north towards Chelsea. But I think it's really ramping up. It's starting to strengthen somewhat up here. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Thanks, Val. Again, I appreciate you being up here, usually hanging out in David Payne in Oklahoma City, chasing storms all over out western two-thirds of the state and helping us today. Rain and thunderstorms continue right where he is located, and then is keeping an eye on what's going on with possible development. We're also looking just to the northwest of Chelsea and then back up along this line. We're going to talk, in fact, Alan, I'll have you do a storm track on some of this coming up, but some of the winds are still being estimated. Station's got a wind estimate right there, near 60 miles an hour. Again, this is just off the surface, so it's not right at the surface. So when we show you some of these numbers, that doesn't mean it's right down here where we live. It's because the radar and the Earth curves, and therefore the radar beam has to go straight. So the further away from the radar we go, the further the radar beam is away from the Earth and where we are. And so you can't take some of that data and just put it right down and say, oh, that's 61.5 miles an hour right there. So we have to use ground truth on a lot of this. But we're talking about rain and showers and storms that are still very heavy. You can see the Howard area just southwest of Chelsea that we were talking about. And then back further to the north and west, there's a lot of rain, showers, thunderstorms for you guys in Nowata County, just getting hit with heavy rains all the way up to the north. So this is a big, broad area, and Alan Crone's been watching the bigger picture and a storm tracks for us. Al?
Yeah, you mentioned the storms up to the north, so why don't we do a quick storm track for our neighbors in far northern sections of the state, also into southeastern Kansas. So Coffeyville, Caney, Chautauqua, Independence, some of those areas. Technically, there's no severe thunderstorm warning right now for southeastern Kansas, but the heart of that cell, the meat of it, is just a little bit to the south-southwest of your location. So I know there's a lot of information on the screen here, but I'll just try to summarize this. We've taken the leading edge, which is now near Lenapaw to Delaware and Nowata, and then back down to just north of Chelsea, and that's basically where Val's located, just south. We'll move that to the northeast at around 30 miles per hour. So Chelsea, this is 1224, so pretty soon from now, that leading edge will be there. Coffeyville, 1228, Sanders at 1231, and basically in the next 45 to 50 minutes could be into Coffeyville, Kansas, and then also a little more to the east and north. So again, that would be the cell that's in the far northern sections. There's also another severe storm that is underway as well to the south. You can see that goes all the way from just near and east of Claremore to the Choteau area, and then back down just northwest Tahlequah. Technically, Tahlequah is not included right now in a severe thunderstorm warning, even though part of northern Cherokee County is. So we'll just draw a little track on the fly here and take that also to the east-northeast at around 40 miles per hour. That's going to be Locust Grove at 1232, Lake Hudson 1240, Big Cabin at 1249, and again right now we're setting at 1221 as the storms continue on. So what we have in terms of our warning and watch status right now is these are severe thunderstorm warnings, but the environment, the thermal structure, especially the wind structure today, is such that if the storms become oriented in such a fashion, you get these little wavy areas. You can kind of see that right in through here. That would allow some inflow So that is why we still have a tornado watch that is underway across the far eastern areas, technically until 2 o'clock. And remember, those are the areas that we've had very little shower and thunderstorm activity today. Early this morning, got to work at 1:20, 1:30 this morning, and we tracked a couple of spotty showers off and on near the metro, but we had very little to the east. So basically, the far eastern areas have been untouched at this point. And even the southern areas around McAllister, Pittsburgh County, you've had some shower and storm activity, but nothing severe. So right now, the main focus is going to be across that far northern area, and that's going to be around the Nowata, Lenapaw area, also Veneta. You guys are included in a severe thunderstorm watch, even though the storms are to your west and southwest, and from, or a severe thunderstorm warning, pardon me. And then we also have the storms that are near Locust Grove, also to the west, Travis. Still tracking them through the area.
All right, I appreciate it. So again, we continue our coverage. We are going to go over and to get some news in just a second. I want to do one more quick update before we do that. Along this line, we do have Val and also where Darren is located, because this is still very active in terms of severe weather potential. And we have winds 60 miles an hour along the leading edge of that. So that'll knock out some power to some folks. I want to go to Darren real quick and get an update on where he is. He's just not too far from the industrial complex and just south of Pryor. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis, this is on the south side of Pryor. We're looking due west, and this is another one of those little notches that's formed along that line, and it's produced another one of those little bit of a lowering. No funnels or anything, but once you get out ahead of this just a little bit, you'll start to see, excuse me, converging winds. You'll see rain from both the north and the south, and on occasion, you'll see small limbs and leaves flying through the air, Travis. But I'm watching it. Back to you.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate it. Yep, you got to roll. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. And so that's a look at what's going on right now. Heavy rain, showers, thunderstorms rolling into town. And here's some estimates. What do you got, Michael? Yeah, Val has another update too. Okay, good. And so this is coming into town right now. So just be advised where Darren is. This is off of the surface. So when you see that, don't go, oh, it's 76 miles an hour right now in Pryor. This is above the surface, but there's still some very strong damaging wind potential for you guys right now in Pryor and along this leading edge. Let's go up to where Val is located at this time, and rain and thunderstorms continue as this bulges out and it goes across this whole region. So we're going along the line with heavy rains all the way as we continue back up to the north, and then we're getting up along I-44, and then Val is located in Chelsea right now. Val, can you give us an update what you have?
Yeah, we are approaching Chelsea right now, and I can tell you this. I think we have the circulation is getting stronger, and I think it's just to our west or just to our west-northwest. And so right now we're just coming up on Chelsea. We've got strong south winds at our location. That would indicate the rotation is still west of us. And when I say strong, I'm saying 40 with gusts close to 50 from the south at the moment. Every now and then when the rain breaks just right, we can see a fuzzy lowering back to the west. So anyway, we're headed north. We're going to stay with it.
All right, Val, I appreciate it because, yeah, right now as we look at our live radar and velocity data, there is in the Chelsea area at this time, we do have a circulation feature going on at this moment. So we do want folks, I want you, yeah, if you can stay on that, that'd be great. So again, Chelsea, very strong storm in your area. This is a severe thunderstorm warned storm. We've mentioned this before, that just because it's a severe thunderstorm warning doesn't mean that it couldn't possibly produce a small tornado. So there is development, and as you look at what's going on, velocity data starts to indicate that as well, with our shear rate starting to pick up where Val is located. So this isn't over with by, unfortunately, any stretch of the imagination. This is still going strong. This is going to take it and move to the northeast. So now we're moving across an area that goes from Chelsea, and then we're moving into Craig County. And Val, you got another update?
Yeah, I was going to let you know we're in Chelsea now, and the power's gone. There's no power in Chelsea. The stoplight's out. All the businesses are dark. So there's evidently been some wind nearby, enough to knock the power off in Chelsea. Back to you, Travis.
All right, I appreciate it. Hey, Val, before you go, I don't see any tree limbs laying down. Did you see any damage at all?
We've not. We've seen small tree debris like leaves and really small branches scattered here and there, but nothing big time yet.
Okay, I appreciate it. All right, so again, Chelsea, that's where Val's located at this time. Moving up along the leading edge of that. That is still a very, very powerful storm. It looks like it cranked up considerably, as Val said. Let's go back to radar for a minute and show you what's going on. This is where he is located and how this is advanced. And so very strong thunderstorm right now that has continued to make a big move right across Chelsea. And you see some of the stronger winds indicated with this. Let's look at shear if we could and see how that has changed and see if that just kind of, notice how that just kind of blew up all of a sudden right in here. So that's a cell that just, even though they've been following it, just intensified right in there, and not surprisingly so. And velocities again back to, for a moment, and then widen out just a tad bit if you would, and to the north and east just a tad bit. So this is continuing to rapid. Look how fast this is moving, even compared to Val. So we're getting this probably moving, I would say, about 50 miles an hour or so, because that is just really booking it to the northeast. So if you're around Bowling Springs, just be aware. Sunsweet, these are just smaller locations. Getting back into some rural areas. Alloy, you've already had this come through you. And then back to the northeast a little bit. Let's look at this if you can. Take me back up to the north and east a little bit. So Estella's right up in here. And then that'll be crossing Highway 60. So this is bulging out. This is a high probability that we're going to get some wind damage and, as he mentioned, the power outages. So that gives us a good idea that that's going to be causing some issues as well with just knowing that we have the power outages. So this is pulsed back up. We're not going to go to Dave yet for a minute because I want to point this out, and we're going to do a storm track on this. Or Alan, I tell you what, if you would you get this set up for a storm track? I want to go back to the south on a south storm, and we'll come to you with a storm track. I want to go back to Darren for a moment, who's in the Pryor area, and also look at the velocities. If you can, give me a shear information on that right now. Right along this leading edge, doesn't look like much, but this is where the winds are about 50, 60 miles an hour along this leading edge. So this is just near Locust Grove, extending back down to near Peggs right now. And then that goes up to where Darren is located around the Pryor area. And Darren, if you have that, can you give us an update on what you're seeing?
Yeah, Travis, on the north side of Pryor here, 50-mile-an-hour winds coming through here, so it's knocking trash cans and blowing a lot of debris across 69 as you go through there. But that tight couplet of circulation is well now north and to the west of Pryor now. It's going to be on the west side of 69. And if you look at the shot there, you can kind of see those brief little lowerings that you get. And at times, you'll get one of those little ragtag funnels that'll poke its head out of there, Travis. But I'm in a good vantage point right now. So if anything changes, be the first to know. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Darren. I greatly appreciate that. Let's go over for a quick update right now from Al. And Al, what do you have on that storm track?
Okay, the storm track, this is going to be the storm. The Val is basically on the southern end of that. There's a little notch right in there. You'll take a look around Chelsea back up to the north. That is moving generally northeast at around 40, maybe 45 miles per hour. White Oak at 1238, Veneta at 1247. The potential is there for some damaging wind. Right now, the majority of this movement we think is probably to the north and east. But I'm telling you, if this starts moving more north than east, if it gets just a little bit more of a northward movement, that will help because of the parameters in the atmosphere to cause that little notch right there that's just to the west-northwest of Val and also south of Sanders to get a little stronger. So the potential is there for some 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Technically, again, there's still a severe thunderstorm warning that's underway. Oh, and by the way, just now, severe thunderstorm warning issued for our friends in southern Kansas for the first time. So this is going to be Labette in the Montgomery County area. That's the storm that we tracked that was entering the Coffeyville, Kansas area. That'll move north now at around maybe 40, maybe even 50 miles per hour as that storm moves into southern Kansas. So folks in southern Kansas, we're watching that storm for you right now. It's near Coffeyville.
All right. I appreciate it, Al. So again, rain, showers, thunderstorms continue. Broader picture, we're going to go over to Dave here in just a second now. So here's a look at what we're talking about. The severe thunderstorm warnings continue to the east of Tulsa. We have lots and lots of rain. If we have time, we'll give you a quick forecast of what's going on. But don't put your rain gear away, whatever you do, because we still have a lot of water coming. And the leading edge of this is still what we're concerned with. So we have Tim, we have Val, Darren, Brandon, we also have Jason. So all the guys are along the leading edge of this as we continue to do our severe weather coverage all the way from Coffeyville back to the south. So this is the latest look. Expect winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour in some of these couplets. And then also velocity, one quick velocity thing before we go, just so we don't have to go to Dave and then turn around and come right back. And then back down around Rose first. And look at this. So there is near Locust Grove right now concern a little bit for strong damaging winds here. Where Darren is located, we're still getting strong winds. He's going up along 69. Further to the north, Val is along that leading edge. Small little area showing up just west of Veneta. So we're going to take a look at all this. We're going to get a little bit more information, and then we'll be back with more information. But let's go get some news if we have just a minute. Dave.
All right, Travis, thank you very much, and very much appreciate all the severe weather team here, everyone in-house, to keep you safe and keep you covered on this severe weather day. We do have some power outages to tell you about in Green Country, keep you updated on this ongoing situation. PSO on the public outage map, the latest that they have, more than 4,000 people still without power in Broken Arrow. We do have a team right now in Broken Arrow gathering more information on the ground there for you. No outages or no significant outages, we should tell you, to report in Tulsa at this time. That's the good news there. Several possible tornadoes touched down in the Oklahoma City area this morning. Let's take you around and show you what we saw. One area of spin up was spotted near Lake Thunderbird in Cleveland County. Another was spotted by News on 6 Storm Trackers Val and Amy Castor. You've been hearing them this morning. They spotted that near Interstates 44 and 35. In Midwest City, you can see here several cars were found overturned and a roof was torn off after a heavy line of storms made its way through that area. Again, this is earlier this morning. High winds also caused damage in southwest Oklahoma City when a firefighter had to remove a trampoline from a power line in the 2400 block of Southwest 81st. At Frontier City, more damage here. They sustained some damage after a tornado-warned storm passed that area. 2 people at a nearby hotel had to be rescued from an elevator after the power went out. And again, the video you're seeing right now is not live. This is video we are showing you from earlier today in Oklahoma City. Hurricane Michael is barreling toward the Florida Panhandle, and 2 million people are in its path. It's now a Category 2 storm, but Michael is expected to intensify before it makes landfall tomorrow. Hillary Lane is in Panama City Beach with the latest.
The Florida beach trip for the Gillum family is over. They've packed up to leave because of the mandatory evacuations ordered ahead of Hurricane Michael.
3 kids. If it was just the adults, we would have rode it out, but, you know, got to be safe since they're with us.
They'll be joining the thousands of people clogging roads heading out of town. Gas is in short supply. Throughout the Panhandle, businesses are boarding up.
Hey, we need to give you a quick update. We just have a new tornado warning just issued now. This is just to the areas right just near Coffeyville, Kansas. So this is a new tornado warning that's been issued based off of a severe weather situation developing just, and Alan mentioned this just a moment ago, that this is a warning that was a severe thunderstorm warning, but circulation was increasing in this area. So now we do have a tornado warning north of Coffeyville. Circulation feature located just southwest of Liberty to the southeast of Independence, Kansas. This is a tornado warning that will be in effect until 1:15 this afternoon. The couplet doesn't look as good as far as the rotating area, but you can see where it is located. This was just a few moments ago. This is right at Country Road 3000 where it intersects with 4300 Road. That was just a little bit ago, so that had been like a couple minutes ago. So that'll be just to the north of this. Doesn't look impressive at this time, but it is in terms of the rotation. It really kicked up. And so you see the shear marker in that location. Also, the indications are that this will continue to move very rapidly to the north and will be out of our area probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But a tornado warning now in effect. That will continue until 1:15. We are currently at 1236. This is for our friends in Kansas. So this is just north of Coffeyville, Kansas in our viewing area. Circulation is tightened up just to the southwest of Liberty, just to the north of Coffeyville, and that is continuing to rapidly move to the northeast. So it's not like an east or northeast, it's more of a northeast movement on this particular cell. And that will continue as that moves to this in the directions most likely near Cherryvale and just on the east sides of Independence. And Alan, I'll have you do a storm track. You've got that setting up right now. Can you give me a situation right now? It's all ready to Liberty, so this is moving probably about 50 miles an hour. So very, very fast movement. And that is again, Road 3400. Where it intersects with 4550 road, and that is moving northeast. Looks like it's mainly rural area with the exception of just to the southeast of Independence, and that's the home of Station Night. And Cherryvale just there. And Alan has doing a quick storm update right now.
Yeah, we're trying it here. All right, let's see if I can grab it very quickly here. I'm going to do a small area with that circulation. You take a look.
All right, go ahead.
All right, take a look here on the map, on the radar. This is again Cherryvale, just south and east of Independence, and then also around Coffeyville. So that is the circulation. It's fairly small, but it's moving northeast right now at about 35, maybe 40, 45 miles per hour. It'll probably expand a little bit, but I wanted to just show you where I think probably most of this will go. It's just east of Independence, maybe a little bit to the west of Cherryvale, but notice the polygon. I do want to point out the polygon from our friends at the Weather Service in Wichita. It does include Independence and Sycamore and Cherryvale and Liberty, all in through this area. So if you guys are in the polygon area from Coffeyville to Liberty, up through Independence and then also into Cherryvale, we would encourage you to go ahead and take your tornado precautions. This is a tornado warning, and this is going to be until 1:15 this afternoon. So again, this is for our neighbors in Kansas. This is going to be technically Labette in the Montgomery County vicinity. So that's just north of the Lenapaw area, but southern Kansas, you guys are under a tornado warning right now. Independence, Coffeyville North, Liberty, Cherryvale.
Still okay? All right, thanks, Al. Appreciate that. Also along this line where Tim and Val are located, we have another storm that is wrapped up pretty heavy. And Val, let's go to Val with quick information on that. Val, what do you have?
Okay, Travis, 7 to 8 miles straight west of Bonita, we just saw a funnel. And it rapidly formed beneath the base and rose up into the base and then formed a funnel. And right now, if you're looking at our shot, you see that white rain there. The rain is completely wrapped around and obscured the funnel. I'm going to pull back just a little bit here. That's the rain. So tucked in around behind that rain is where the funnel is located, or it was located when it wrapped. I don't know if it's still there or not, but pretty well-formed funnel. Kind of a cone-shaped little funnel over there. So it's about 7 to 8 miles straight west of Bonita.
All right. And we saw that on video as Alan was getting the tornado warning out for our friends up in Kansas there. Let's take a look at radar right now. Thanks, Val. We'll be back to you. And you see the circulation. What he was talking about was right in here, just south of Estella and just to the west of Bonita. So if you're in this area too, because this is accelerating to the northeast, just be aware that wind damage potential is pretty high for you guys just right in this zone. As that continues to track to the northeast. So that's going to take it, looks like it's just barely going to miss Bonita, and it's going to be, Val's basically at White Oak at this moment to near Estella, and so that'll be back up over some ranch land here coming up in just a few moments. It's over ranch land now, but that'll continue to move to the northeast and just get closer to Blue Jacket. So again, it's more kind of and we're showing northeast, but these storms have really had a tendency even to go northeast, so don't be surprised if we end up, if it's just to the east of Centralia and Welch, you're in the core of that, because the whole line is going to the northeast. But we do want you to be aware that up into this zone, any place up in here from Blue Jacket to Welch, you're in the path of this. So this will be very close to Bonita, and so that is again another circulation feature. Back a little bit further to the south and west, or south and east, I should say. Along this line, Darren continues to cover that, and that goes down around the Strang area now. And so we do have some velocity indications now that are indicating that still very turbulent, still winds of 50, 60 miles an hour along the leading edge. That is a very defined area from Salina now, extending back down to around the Snake Creek area, Teresa and Terracetta, I should say, and then that goes back further to the south near Gideon. So all along this line is very strong winds. Now that's just to the northwest sides of Tahlequah, but in Tahlequah you guys are going to get some strong winds winds before too long as well. So this is also going to be about 40, 50, maybe borderline 60-mile-an-hour winds around the Tahlequah area. So this is why it's kind of jacked back up and got very ramped back up. Alan, I'm going to come back to you with another update, if you would, for our tornado warning to the north here in just a minute. Let's go back north just along this line. So if you're along this line, severe thunderstorm warnings, and since they kind of got going again, you can see the leading edge. This is in western Cherokee County, and now we're starting to move across not only into problems from Nowata County, but also Craig County, and then that'll be extending a little bit further to the north and east through Delaware County. So you can see along the line from Salina, then back on up to the north and west. Very solid line of storms. Salina, strong wind potential. Velocity data showing probably around the Salina, the areas just north side, there's a little bit more in the way of strong winds. And then also shear indications. I'm going to see if there's anything showing up right in the Salina area. This time, not so much so. Okay. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. Just came on. So we could have some 60-mile-an-hour winds for you guys right around Salina. Be in Salina now, so you'd have to be east of Salina to be warned on that. Okay, further north and to where Darren is located, near Patton, and you can see where he is. That continues severe thunderstorm warning to near the Big Cabin area. Darren, do you have a quick update?
Yeah, Travis, this line continues to produce those brief little spin-ups. I haven't seen one since just north side of Pryor. Now it's off to my east, coming up on the, it's just south and west of Langley. But I've got eyes on it, Travis. Anything changes, be the first to know. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Darren. Let's go over to Alan with an update now on the latest tornado warning.
Okay, the tornado warning is for our friends in southeastern Kansas. This is going to be northwestern Labette, eastern Montgomery County, and we've highlighted that. I'll tell you what, let me see if I can move that just a little bit, the middle of your screen there, so you can see. That's the circulation feature around Liberty to just near and east of Independence, and it's still moving northeast at around 40 to maybe 45 miles per hour. The polygon does include Independence. It goes all the way up to maybe just south of Hillford, around Brooks and the Grove area. But right now, Cherryville, we would say folks around Cherryville, Independence just to the east, Liberty, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. The potential is there for a pretty quick spin up, and this is the area that we also have pockets of moderate to heavy rain that will be coming down as well. And in addition to the possibility of a tornado all in through here, the potential is there also for some 50 or 60 mile per hour winds. But again, this is a tornado warning that is underway. We'll clear all that out. You can kind of see the flashing polygon area. So circulation now near north of Coffeyville, Liberty, Independence eastward, right in this general area, moving to the northeast at anywhere between 30 to near 40 miles per hour. There's two polygons that are flashing. There's actually a severe thunderstorm warning that was already in place, and then the tornado warning was issued on top of this. So just remain aware that you may have two warnings showing up on your text, but it's the tornado warning, obviously, that we're concerned about, and that's going to be Independence eastward, Cherryville, the Altamont area. You guys are not included in the tornado warning, and it looks like that, again, that's going to move generally to the north and east. So we would say around Cherryville, Independence, Fruitland area, the circulation from Liberty just to the east of Independence. You guys need to take your tornado precautions. The potential is there that we could have a tornado develop. We do have a tornado warning that is underway, and this is from our friends at the National Weather Service office out of Wichita, Kansas. So technically this will be underway until 1:15. So we'll want you to remain aware of that as it continues to move generally in this same direction right now from Coffeyville, Independence, and then also let me go back very quickly and I'll get it back to Travis here in just a second. We'll show you the velocity data one more time. Take a look. You see those areas where the reds and the greens are all coming together right in through there, moving north, Travis, at around 35, maybe 45 miles per hour. Back to you.
All right, thanks for keeping a track of that one. We have a big line of thunderstorms. Now, this line of thunderstorms went through the Broken Arrow area. Now, we have told you we've had 3,000 customers at least without power around Broken Arrow. That also affected some of our schools there in Broken Arrow. So if you have kids at Country Lane Intermediate, Country Lane Primary, Centennial Middle, or Linwood Elementary, those students, because they're out of power at those schools, they are just moving the students to classrooms that have more light and hoping that the power comes back on. They are not dismissing at this time. They are just moving the students to locations where they have some light because it got kind of dark there once the electricity went off. So those would be Country Lane Intermediate, Country Lane Primary, Centennial Middle, and Linwood Elementary. They are not closed. Again, they are going to just move students around. So if you hear anything, at this point, they are still open, and they're just moving students to where there's some windows, classrooms that have light, so it's easier for the students to see. And then we're hoping that power will be restored in a little bit in Broken Arrow. But we still are estimating, is it about 3,100? Stacia, was at the last count, almost 3,100 customers without power in the Broken Arrow vicinity. So that's a lot of customers. It's down, what, it's 4,000? We're at 4,000, so that jumped up to 4,000. Most of the reports that have come out of Broken Arrow have been associated with the fact that we have had some tree limb damage, and we would suspect, because lightning has been at a minimum, we suspect that it's the wind damage and that that we ended up some power issues associated with some trees and blowing into some lines and messing things up and knocking lines down. This is the leading edge of the severe weather at this particular moment. This is continuing to track to the northeast. This is across portions now of Craig County. Heavy rain, thunderstorm activity, severe along this line, 60-mile-an-hour winds. We'll be going back to Alan for one more update on tornado warning here in about a minute. But we have Tim, we have Val, we have Darren along this leading edge, and then that continues all the way down to Rose, right along Highway 412. Once you get to the south of that, the winds are a lot weaker. We still have scary-looking clouds along some of this leading edge. In fact, yeah, let's come in a lot closer so we can just take a quick look at it. So there's right around the Spavinaw-Strang area, have some of the strong winds, and you can see that it's very turbulent right in this location. I don't know, was it Brandon that was near Tahlequah that had some low clouds, Michael? He does. Okay, let's go south just a little bit along that line for a minute, and you can see where this is the indicating where the strongest winds are. So this is just enough to be a big pain, and that's about it. And so this is coming in on Tahlequah. Hey, Brandon, just give me just a quick 15-20-second update on your location, what you're seeing as it's coming into Tahlequah. Did you just jump off the phone? He's there? I hear tone line.
Travis, I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead if you would. Give me an update.
Okay, yeah, just west of Tahlequah here at 51. Right now, I just got hit with about a 56-mile-an-hour measured wind gust that I took with my anemometer. Also, just a lot of low-hanging clouds. About 5 minutes ago, though, there was an area that I was looking off to my south and west that had some upward rising motion. Just an area that we've been watching all evening. We'll stay with it, Travis. Back to you.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks, Brandon. So that's the way it looks from the locations around Tahlequah radar real quick, and then we're going to go to Alan. So that's Tahlequah location with rain, thunderstorm activity. Leading edge of that, he said 56-mile-an-hour wind measured from his location just on the west side of Tahlequah. That could be enough to knock a little power out. Back up along the line from Terracetta and then extending back on up further north along 412. We have the leading edge around Rose, and this is where it's really getting pushed in and coming a little bit further to the north as we look on into just near the Spavinaw area. Right in here, and one quick velocity look if you could, and then back to reflectivity. We're looking at still right in the Spavinaw area, some strong winds. That could be at 60 miles an hour or so as well. Back to velocity, or back to reflectivity, thanks. And then back further north along this line, you can see that will continue all the way up to where Darren is located. Does Darren have anything? Okay, I'm just going to need to get to the tornado warning here in a minute. Tim's there. Val, anything from those guys that we need to talk about before we go? Velocity, one quick look at velocity, because I just want to make sure that if we get this, everything looks strong, straight line more so than anything else in this zone. Maybe a little bit further to the north here where Val is located. Again, some bit of issue right on that, and that would make sense where that is in relationship to the reflectivity values we have there. And then back on up to the north, and then that gets us up to near the Kansas line. And let's go to Al, who has some more information in the storm track. Al.
Okay, we're still tracking that storm. That's a tornado-warned storm for our neighbors in southern Kansas. That's going to be for technically northwestern Labette, eastern Montgomery County. Folks in around the Cherryville area, that circulation is really close to you right now. It's very close to the city, maybe just a little slightly west-southwest, moving north-northeast, 35, maybe 45 miles per hour. And the circulation, we kind of zoom in here. You can take a look here. Where those reds and greens are together, it's now kind of elongated. It wasn't exceptionally tight to begin with, but it's a little elongated from near Cherryville just to the south and southwest. So the tornado warning continues. Now I've placed the track on the map here. So Cherryville 1253. I mean, it's basically pretty much right on top of your area now, just to the southwest of the city. And then Thayer, that would be at about 115. So again, that's the reflectivity, the way that it looks right now. The velocity data. Let me show you the reflectivity. So again, you've got all of this heavy rain. So if you're in Cherryville or maybe Brooks or Moorhead, and you're trying to find, hey, let's see if we can see this tornado before we take shelter, you're probably not going to be able to do that. It's going to be rain wrapped. There's a lot of precipitation with this system, and this is going to continue to move on to the northeast right now, northeast at around maybe 35 or 40 miles per hour. So we would encourage you folks around Cherryville and then Sycamore eastward, Moorhead, Brooks, all in through this area. We go ahead and take those tornado precautions. And again, you can see that part of the rotation here. It's got a little broader from Cherryville back down to just west of Liberty. So maybe going through a little phase here, trying to reorganize somewhat, but it still is moving right now to the north, slightly northeast. I would say it's still around 40, maybe 45 miles per hour, but it's getting broad, Travis. Typically, when that starts to happen, it just kind of blows out. So you'll have some wind with it, but the potential for any kind of significant tornado activity out of that is fairly low. And it looks like that the friends at the National Weather Service in Wichita are probably going to cancel that tornado warning.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. Because that's still a kind of a big deal as far as this leading edge. Want to point out a couple of things. We're going to get a little weather forecast in here too. But first, Val and Darren, Tim, they're kind of congregating in Veneta, it looks like. But we do have it as rapidly blowing across the areas right around Veneta. And Val has a shot for us. Val, give us an update on what you have, would you?
Okay, right now we are in Veneta, like you said. And I got to tell you, Travis, this looks the most like a legitimate wall cloud that we've seen today in this area, and it's right near, maybe just west of Veneta. It's the one we're looking at here. Now, as we look south along this line, we see a couple of other lowerings way on down the line, but this one here looks like it's getting stronger all the time. It's the one we saw the funnel with a little bit earlier that got wrapped in rain, but it's passing over Veneta right now, moving off to the northeast, and it looks as strong as it has all day. Back to you, Travis.
All right, and we'll agree with you on that because right now some of our velocity data continues to have it wrapped up pretty high. And so we do want folks to be aware around the Veneta area, definitely around Veneta. This is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but this severe thunderstorm warning also has the potential for an isolated tornado. And so that's what we're keeping an eye on. That's what Val has pictures of right now as we continue to watch that thunderstorm as they continue to track up I-44. Darren is located in that same vicinity, so is Tim. So we've got all three congregated in the same location, but we've got that baby covered. Back to radar for a moment, and you can see where we are located around Veneta. So this is the location of the rotation area. Shear is indicating that we do have some potential for at least some issues. We're going to be watching this as it develops and moves farther to the north and to the east. So the leading edge of this is not impressive at this particular second. The development, though, and usually some of the shear information we have comes in after the storm has developed a little bit more. Velocity data, one more time if you would on that. Giving us just an indication that we're looking at right in this area, in the notch thing that Val has, and also where Darren is located, very turbulent right along this leading edge. And so we want you to be aware. Let's go to Links 1 for a minute and just want to point out something here. And that is that the tornado watch and kind of a bigger picture, this is where our warnings are right now. So it's out of Tulsa. So if you're in Tulsa, we still have a lot of rain. We have a chance of some thunderstorms as well. But we're looking at the tornado watch mainly to the east of Tulsa. And you could say along Highway 69 to the east. Because once we get some of these storms past areas of Nowata and extending back down through Rogers and down through Wagner County, we might be able to drop them from out of the tornado warning as it sits right now. But the active weather is in our northeast part of our viewing area at this moment. We've had reports of tornadoes down around Oklahoma City during the day. So far, our reports have been mainly wind damage around Tulsa, and some of that has been limited to power outages. And as we mentioned, the schools just a little bit ago in Broken Arrow that have had to readjust just because of the lack of power. We haven't had too many other reports for as much as the warnings as we've had. And the amounts of rainfall rainfall that we've had has been significant around Tulsa. So this has been a big jump for Tulsa and areas just to the north in southeastern Osage County, which has needed a lot of rain. We did pick that up. Now, the storms haven't made it to the east as of yet, so there's not that much moisture that has fallen for you guys, but that is subject to change. We do have temperatures that are well into the 70s in advance. Notice ones, and Veneta at 80 right now, right around the thunderstorm. And so there is a huge temperature differential because it's kind of like rain-cooled air. The real cold front is still back up to the northwest. So we're in the 60s now. So that has really dropped our temperatures down with that rain-cooled air. And as we look at what happens the rest of the day, there's additional rain and showers and thunder showers that will be around. Still has to come through. And as the cold front's coming through, that'll change our temperatures big time. But we're going to stay in the 60s. We might visit 70, low 70s for a while this afternoon, but we'll be in the 60s through this evening with still chance of rain and thunderstorms. And then the cold front moves on through. The higher probabilities for the evening hours will be in southeast Oklahoma for some severe weather. This is 2 a.m. and notice how temperatures already in the 50s out west, 60s, upper 60s, still around Tulsa. But by the time that we extend the forecast, we're going to see temperatures that are going to be a lot colder. I say colder because we're not used to this. We'll be down to 50 and then 63 for tomorrow, 62 on Thursday. Look at our lows down around 40s, low to mid 40s, then upper 40s. We do have a slight chance of showers trying to come in by Friday night, and our best chance of showers and thunderstorms. Hopefully this will be after the high school football games. We're looking for a shower and thunderstorms, though, that are going to continue across on Saturday. And that's with a tropical system we haven't had time to mention. I just want to make sure we got a forecast in. And then some remnant rain showing up on Sunday. And then notice how cold. I mean, that's cold. A high of 59. You're going to be wearing a big coat. Back to radar real quick and links 3. The shower and thunderstorm activity we've been watching. This is a velocities data. Now we're back to reflectivity data. I'm going to go to Alan with a quick update on it. Looks like those storms might have died off a little bit, but where Tim and Darren and Val are located, we're going to keep an eye on that. But Alan, give us a quick update on the tornado situation up in Kansas, would you?
Yeah, we'll take a look at what's happening right now. That circulation is trying to organize again just a little bit, but now it's going to be just to the west-northwest of the Cherryville area and south of Moorhead. So that's basically going to be out of our viewing area pretty quickly. But just a little heads up here, there's no warning right now. But the right around, I would say Cherryville, north to Moorhead, and then just to the east of the Dennis area, the circulation is starting to show back up a little bit. It's going to be a broad circulation. It'll continue to move to the north. Technically, at this point, you do not have another tornado warning that's underway near just north of Cherryville to Moorhead. But again, that's a storm system that you would need to kind of watch and to just remain aware that the potential is still there, that it might try to redevelop a little bit. There's just a little bit of rotation there. It's fairly broad, but it's near Cherryville now, just to the west-northwest. And again, all that heavy rainfall threat would continue to move generally to the north and east. I want to take you back down to the south, and bear with me here as we do a little movement on the radar, and we'll switch the radar data. So there's a new polygon that's showing up, and that's a new severe thunderstorm warning that will be underway. This is going to encompass the extreme northeastern sections of the state, where Travis had just mentioned that we have some folks in the 80-degree range. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen from Veneta just to the east, because that's where the new severe thunderstorm warning is located. So this is going to be right along this leading edge. You can see that line of thunderstorm activity. It's from Welch to Veneta to Spavinaw. So technically, your NOAA weather radio is probably going off now. Craig County, part of the Delaware County area, the Ottawa County vicinity, and also northeastern Mays County. So these storms, again, moving northeast, east-northeast, 35, 40 miles per hour. At times, it'll be more north than east. And the severe thunderstorm warning will go on until 2 o'clock today. So that's going to be right in this quadrant. I'm sure by now most folks are aware that this line of thunderstorm activity is approaching. However, if you have friends and neighbors that are on the lake, they're going to do a little fishing today, you want to make sure that they're aware of the thunderstorm activity that will be approaching. We'll do a very, very broad and long track of this entire area moving east-northeast at near 40 miles per hour. So some of the county, some of the locations that would be on the track here would be Disney and the lake right after the 1 o'clock hour, 1:15. Bernice, Grand Lake itself proper at about 1:15. Jay at about 1:20, 1:17. Remember, these are computer-generated estimated times of arrival, and they'll change just a little bit. So again, that would be that leading edge. That entire area is considered a line of severe storms. Not behind it. For example, you can see the Tulsa area right now. We just have shower activity and 60-degree weather. Also, a little heads up for our friends and neighbors in far southeastern Oklahoma. You guys have also, you're in the warm weather zone, and the potential is there, not only, Travis, this afternoon, the next couple of hours for some severe storms, but later tonight when the cold front enters part of southeastern Oklahoma, they may see a lot of storms trying to re-intensify maybe later tonight with the actual frontal passage.
I agree with you, and so that's something we're going to be watching closely. And we're also watching real close right now. Val has something for us. This is a look at that line of storms. Val and Darren, Tim, again, all kind of congregated in the same location with that storm. Val, give us an update on what you have there, would you?
All right, Travis, we are on Interstate 44 on the turnpike up here northeast of Bonita, and we continue to watch this wall cloud. It just had a funnel form. Didn't last very long, but right underneath the area that we think that there's rotation going on is where we saw that funnel. And that's going to be probably 2 miles, 2.5 miles maybe, northwest of I-44, northwest of our location right here. And it's going to be well to the northeast, I think, of Bonita. And, boy, this thing just continues moving on fast to the northeast. But it didn't last very long. It pulled back up, but I guarantee you the parent rotation is still there, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks, Val. I greatly appreciate that. And along that leading edge, we continue to cover the line of thunderstorms. You can see right where Val is located, near a small area of Todd, which is just to the east of Bonita. And then Tim is moving north along that leading edge. Or I shouldn't say leading edge. He's behind the leading edge right now. Hey, Tim, I know you're moving north out of town. Can you give me a quick update on what you have and what it's like in your area?
Yeah, Travis, just north of Bonita. I'm just getting heavy rain right now. I see the leading edge off to my right, but I'm just have no way to get there. Right now, and we're probably picking up winds 35 in this immediate vicinity, but mainly out of the southwest, so I know I'm behind the main line. Back to you.
All right, Tim, greatly appreciate it. And so that's a look at where Tim is up into Craig County there. Back to radar with shower and thunderstorms. So this is the whole line through Craig County and then back down where Darren is located. We'll talk to him in just a second because he's in a meaty part of that storm. And you see how that extends back on further to the south, getting ready to get toward Grand Lake. But where Darren is right now, he's trying to get out of the heaviest of the rains. Let's go to Darren for a quick update as well. Darren, you're kind of in the midst too, along with Val and Tim, where the strongest part of the storm is. What do you have for us? What's going?
That's right, Travis. I'm eastbound on Highway 60. I'm probably 3.5 miles east of Bonita right now, but you can see the very, very heavy rainfall that's going on. One thing that I wanted to note that here in the past few moments, the lightning has picked up. This is the first time I've seen lightning today, but it's becoming more and more frequent. So I wanted to point that out. I'll travel east, Travis. Back to you.
Wow, it has been weird. Alan mentioned that an hour or two ago. I don't even remember. It was quite a while ago. Lightning strikes have been just minimal. And so just hardly anything going on with that. Very interesting how that's playing out. Radar still showing, we're looking right now at basically movement of raindrops and the speed of the wind that's going on. And a lot of that along the leading edge shows that we're talking, it's right along Highway 82. And so this is bulging out now. So that's taking it to Road 4490. And you can see that that's getting over closer to the lake. And so we're just about over to Grand Lake at this time. So if you're near Grand Lake, you need to make sure that you are prepared for 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds and torrential rainfall, as Darren was just showing us. That's bulging out again near Cleora. And that is an area, and Darren's pretty much running into that as we speak. Ketchum, you're already into the rain, showers. Do we have our own live radar to punch up for a second and see what that looks like? Okay. So we do have, its leading edge is blowing out right in this area. That's going down to Disney on the south side of the lake or the dam area, and then that goes back down to Cleota. And so heavy rains, gusty winds, 60 miles an hour. We're still concerned that there could be some spin-ups and a possible quick tornado. We will get off the air in a little while, but first we just have to make sure that we're safe. We're in a tornado watch. We have actual active severe thunderstorm warnings, and there is what we call a tagline that says a potential for a tornado is also possible with a severe thunderstorm. So we're just going to keep an eye on some of this. So right now near Cleota, we have strong winds. We would estimate at about 50, 60 miles an hour. Could be a little stronger. And so that would cause some power outages. So along this leading edge, power outages are going to be very possible. And if you don't, lights could flicker. And if they don't, then you're very fortunate. This will continue to move across the lake. So if you have any friends that were out fishing today, doing something, they better be getting off that lake really quick, because it just doesn't look all that bad as it's coming in. Now, I know our guys are mainly underneath it right now, and it has a little bit of scary looking clouds to it, but that's usually when you get right up close to it. But you don't really see it coming for a while because we have some of these other low clouds in advance of it. So it's not like you have a precursor if you're not thinking about, it's not that bad. Anyway, further to the north along the line near Disney, you can see a little bit more in the way of turbulence area and heavy rain and thunderstorm activity. We'll be going to Al with a storm track update on some of this in just a minute. We'll stay, as you can see, where the dam is located in relationship. We do have some shear indications, mainly from Disney, continuing back down along this edge to Ucha, and so that will get us down to Ucha Lake. So if you are in these areas, you just you have to be aware that it's just going to be a quick 50, 60 mile an hour wind, torrential rainfall, and then it'll just go down to light rain right after that. Let's stay on shear rate and go back northwest if you could, and then we're going to go over to Allen. So this is a look where Darren is located. You can see just near the small areas of Todd and Success, just east of Veneta. Then back further to the north and west, Tim is following that line, but up to the north, you can see very minimal shear rates. We have some up around the Welch area. We're getting further away from the radar too, but still we would have some pretty good indications. And then back to velocity data, if we could, on some of this, and then come back down to the south. I'm going to just look back along this line for just a minute before we go over to Al. And so I don't see anything else other than a bulging area. It's down around Ucha, and so that's about the only thing that's really kind of concerning, that's literally sticking out and making it an issue. All right, let's go over to Alan real quick with another storm track update, please.
Yeah, we'll track that part that you were just kind of talking about there, Travis, for the folks around the lake area, Grand Lake, around Bernice and Monkey Island and Grove. So we'll take just that segment of the line. And we're moving this to the northeast now at around 35, 45 miles per hour. So you can see on the side of the screen, that's the estimated time of arrival. Grand Lake at 1:15. Now, obviously, that's just the southwestern arm of the lake itself. So that's going to continue on right on through the middle part of the lake and then to the east for the next 35, 45 minutes. Fairland about 125. And Grove at 127. By the way, right now it is 108 to 109. And that severe thunderstorm warning that continues all along that line remains in effect until 2 o'clock today. The potential is there for some winds at around 50 to maybe 60 miles per hour, extremely heavy rainfall. Very little lightning, as Travis and Darren Stevens were discussing just a couple of minutes ago. We're down now to 2 lightning strikes in that general area, and that's around Veneta, and then also out to the north as well. Right now, this line is continuing to move generally north and east, but I want to show you the southern part of the line. This is what we've seen pretty much all morning long. As long as it continues the current path and motion here, those little bitty notches on the edge probably won't amount to too much. But when we start to see this, when you see a little bit more of this type of emotion to where part of the southern arm here turns in this direction, that's when it causes those winds to kind of flip in. You get more of those little notches right there, and that's when our guys are seeing, like Val and Darren and everybody's seeing maybe these little lowerings trying to take place. That is why we still have the tornado watch that is still underway for this area just ahead of it. So right now, just to be clear, we have the severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway. It's right along this line. It goes all the way into extreme eastern Oklahoma. It technically includes part of western Arkansas, and then it'll keep on moving very quickly. Let me show you to the south. If you're watching in Tahlequah, you have thunderstorm activity right now. It is not severe. The potential is there for some heavy rainfall that extends all the way back down to Wilburton and Red Oak and 270 east, all to Sallisaw. And then in the Tulsa County area, we have rain that's still coming down. But again, we're in the cool sector now. The temperatures right now in the 60s. series. Real quick update, we continue to watch those power outage numbers. At one point, they were up to 5,200, and right now they're down, but not much. 4,779, just all around the Broken Arrow vicinity.
All right. Hey, thanks, Al. I appreciate that. So severe thunderstorm warnings continue in effect over the Grand Lake area, and so we want you guys to be very much aware of what's going on. Tornado watch continues in effect for eastern Oklahoma to the east of Tulsa along Highway 69. So this is still a very active weather pattern we're watching for you guys. We're going to get this through Grand Lake, and then we'll be kind of clearing out a few things. First of all, though, this leading edge, Alan mentioned, still causing severe weather across the areas from extreme east, just east of Pryor, and that runs up around the Langley area and around the Grand Lake area is what we're mainly concerned with right now. So if you're in the Grand Lake area, please be very careful. Winds of 60, 70 miles per hour will be very possible along this leading edge. I want to take first, let's go down to south to Tahlequah for a quick update, because we haven't had anything out of Tahlequah. That's just barely to the south of the severe warned area. And down in Tahlequah right now, Brandon is located. Brandon, what is Tahlequah? Are we doing okay down there? What's the situation?
Yeah, Travis, here at 82 and 62 junction in Tahlequah. Right now, the rain, as we speak, just started. There for a while, I didn't have anything, but the rain just started, and the winds just picked up a little bit. Nothing severe, I would say maybe 25. Range right in there, but and like I said, there's no lightning with any of this. That's really strange, but we're going to stay with it all evening. Back to you, Travis.
All right, I appreciate it, and so we're watching that, continuing to track away. So back to radar and shower and thunderstorms. So again, Tahlequah, you just have rainstorms. The severe weather is mainly to the north, but if you're around Chewy, extending to Little Kansas, this is when we get into our severe weather, Lake Uchi area, heavy rain, shower, thunderstorm activity, and then the main part, and you can pretty much tell just from the colors, this is right over the Ketchum area. Darren's really close to that. And we do have some strong winds indicated as it's moving across the southwest sides of Grand Lake from the dam, and then it's starting to go into the main body. And so there should be some winds of 60, 70 miles an hour with that. Darren's right in the midst of some of that. Let's go to Darren with a quick update. Darren?
Wow, holy.
Darren, you there?
Travis, yeah. Travis, still continuing east down here on Highway 60. And got back into the rain, and back ahead of me along that leading edge, I see a small little funnel sticking out of it, now starting to occlude. But that's not uncommon. It's been the history associated with this storm. But what I wanted to point out, this is not verified other than scanner traffic. There is a report from emergency personnel of a brief tornado touchdown in the Bonita area. I'm trying to get more specific details, but that is the reports going now around emergency personnel reporting a brief tornado touchdown in the Bonita area.
Hey, Mike, I know you don't have a shot at this at all.
Okay.
So,
hey, Brandon, Brandon, I think you're hot on the line. Hang on just a second. Okay. Hey, thanks, Darren. I appreciate it. So we'll take a look at that, see what's going on. You see right where Darren is located, that's the leading edge of that coming in, and that's all the way down to Cleora. So if you're around the Grand Lake area, we want you to be very careful, be aware, 60-mile-an-hour winds or so. I didn't ask Darren about wind speeds, but I think he's just right on the leading edge of that. A little bit further to the north, let's go up past Afton a little bit, and then you can see where Val is located in relationship to Tim. Hey, Val, I'm going to get a quick update from you on I-44. Can you kind of look back and give us an idea of what you're looking at as it's starting to come on into that area?
Okay, Travis, what we're seeing right now is a little bit of a weakening trend since the last time I talked to you. I know we had that funnel and that pretty decent rotation in the Bonita area earlier, but since then, it looks like to me that it's weakened a little bit. I know it's still there. We still have the inflow notches that we still had before. The line is still strong and moving, but as far as the wall cloud bases that we've had, they don't look quite as imposing as they did. Maybe it's going through a little bit of a cycling stage right now. Back to you.
All right, thanks. And when you were there, I don't know if you heard Darren on the line, but he had mentioned that there could have been a brief tornado touchdown around the Bonita area. So we're going to try to confirm that, but that's where you guys were, and you were saying it was pretty intense there for a while. So thanks, Val, Amy. Appreciate you guys. And then also, you can see where Val is in relationship to Miami, and then the heavy rains, thunderstorms. There's those big lightning strikes around Blue Jacket. But this whole line of showers and thunderstorms continues to move to the northeast. Back to Grand Lake for a minute, and then we're going to go to Alan with an update on the storm track. Tim's right along the leading edge near Afton, too. And then you can see where Darren is located, because those guys are not too far apart again. Is Tim available? Okay, Tim, one more quick update from you. What's it like where you are?
Oh, just heavy rain right now, Travis. Southerly winds, I went through about 50 knots behind me, about 3 miles back on Road 220, I think, it is, Farm Road 220. But very poor visibility, very strong winds and rain, but I just can't keep up with the front edge. It's moving so quickly to the east. But I'll keep pushing east and let you know.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate the 50 knots, too. That we can tell where you work. He works at the airport, so that's the reason why he's in knots. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look down to the south a little bit. Rain showers and thunderstorms continue right over Grand Lake, and so those are pushing, again, strong winds, 50 to 60 miles an hour. With that, still severe thunderstorm warnings for you guys all along this line. And Alan has a storm track for us. Al.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. We're going to do that entire line that goes from Welch to just west of Afton and then back down south of Jay. So it's moving northeast near 35 to 40 miles per hour. It is this quadrant of the area, this quadrant of the state that is still primed for maybe some strong damaging wind potential. That's why our friends at the Weather Service have that severe thunderstorm warning that is underway, and this is going to be until 2 o'clock. So this does include obviously those counties there that I've kind of highlighted, but maybe you're just listening here and you can't watch. It's Craig County, Delaware, Ottawa, and part of northeastern Mays County. That'll be until 2 o'clock. And while that part of the storm is moving northeast, I do want to make mention just very quickly for our friends and neighbors just to the north in Kansas, around Altamont, Chitopa area. That part of the storm, which is just north, that is now severe. That is mainly moving north right now at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. The reason I mention that mainly north movement is because, again, if one of those lines will get a little more kind of east-west, that would, I think, would probably increase some of the wind potential. So, again, that would be around the Altamont area, Labette, and just around the Chitopa area. That's going to be moving to the north. So right now, severe storms around Welch all the way back down to Spavin-on-Jay, moving east-northeast. Knots, 1.15 miles per hour. So we'll take his 50 and multiply it, and I think you come up to like 57 or 58 miles an hour.
There you go. Thanks, Al. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to wind up our coverage right now because we're over Grand Lake. We have severe weather. We're not quitting on you at all, but we do have no additional tornado information for you. We do have this line of thunderstorms, though, over Grand Lake. I still want you to be aware for 50, 60 mile an hour winds. We're under a warning in this area, so please be very careful. We're going to be right back on as soon as after some commercial times and also after a few other moments. But Grand Lake, again, continuing our coverage with severe thunderstorm warnings. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.